Welcome to the DJ Moz Podcast. Featuring Nyawira as the interviewer. What are we doing here? Me, Moz, let me tell you, I got saved at 8.
What?
8 is when I gave my life to Jesus Christ. And I could hear my mom saying, put it down, it's not a joke. I was like, no. I want to give my life to Christ. What I didn't know at the time, because I think that's the blessing of doing things, is that you don't know what you're doing. You're just doing it. Like obedience is get it done.
Yes.
It'll make sense to kombele. You know, Moz, I usually pray. Like when I usually say like a man has come for the gig, I usually tell God, I'll be faithful with this one. I'll be faithful, God. Moz, you know, one of the things I feel like I'm allergic to after dust and poverty is foolishness. I feel bad when people don't know. Yeah, and you know, I have nothing deep to tell you. So I must introduce you to the one who can.
Yes.
Otherwise, you'll just be
That's
thinking,
so
guy. That chick is deep. I don't want them to think that.
So good.
No, I want them to say, what? And even me, I should read my Bible.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's success. That's how I measure success.
Yes.
Yeah. Back, the disciples are like, guy, let's hide. We're being careful. He's gone. Now let's continue with our lives. Peter went back to the fish. Everybody was there. But when Jesus came, he didn't tell them how great heaven was. He showed them his scars.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the beauty of mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
You must show me your
That's
scars.
so.
Otherwise, there's nothing you're doing. What's that guy? MrBeast began this way, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, MrBeast is like...
He's our father. He's the godfather of the YouTubes. We pay homage to him. All hail MrBeast.
I have no idea how he became popular.
Nonsense. As
in, but if I was to
And let me tell you, you'll start watching one, you're like, what? So all these guys got money because they didn't move from this circle. It's like, what are you doing?
There's one I watched where he was giving like 100 grand.
Yes.
But the guys needed to stay awake for
Correct.
the longest.
Correct. One was they had to touch a car with their hand. What the heck? And let me tell you, people actually get the money. It's not a scam. MrBeast.
I mean, but you can see the extent that people...
But now his production is another level.
Yeah, it is good.
Hey!
It is good, Bana. We need to up our game.
But I think it's a bad thing to say, don't record this. I think it's white people. Yeah. You see Kenyans. No. We don't have that muscle, Moz. Hey, apana.
But the financial capacity they also have.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And it's primarily YouTube. And then
Yeah.
now he's begun a company. He's now doing water. He's doing fast food. He's doing a lot of things now.
I said, wait, so he opened a burger shop. Eh?
Yeah.
The first day, there were like over 10K people.
Why? He doesn't sell food anywhere else. It's just his name, eh?
As in, over 10K people.
As in, you can sell nonsense on these streets.
But then they closed it up.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they
also.
closed it. But unawezaje ndio kufungua shop, unauza burgers. And the place is... Yeah. How do you even feed 10,000 people?
Trust MrBeast. Only him.
He's a beast, by the way.
He's a beast. That's the right word. A beast.
Oh, man. But karibu.
Asante, Moz.
Piga sip. Usitie shaka.
No, this is masala. It's doing the thing.
Oh, man.
Feels
Welcome
so
to Siberia.
nice. It is Siberia. Tomorrowland. It's like, hey. But good. It's a nice place. Moz.
You know, ulikuwa unaingia mvua ikaanza kunyesha. Just before you got in, I was like, enyewe, hii place.
I was actually, when it was coming, it was raining a bit more.
Yeah.
So when I got here, I was like, it's not as heavy here.
He just started
It's
drizzling.
a whole different climatic zone.
As guys
But
are
would
like
it affect then? No, it wouldn't be as heavy in the noise.
No, I mean just...
A small drizzle.
Yeah, but when it hits the iron sheets,
Kusha.
utasikia kelele hapo hivi, you know. But I'm so happy to have you on the podcast today.
Me too, Moz.
Yay.
Finally. I've been telling my haters. And I'll be on the DJ Moz podcast. Now mtanitambua. These streets. Mtanitambua. These haters spelled MOJI.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Okay.
hatulienda hiyo kitambo. Yeah. But that was so funny. Hey.
Him and Ben. were
Clowns.
hilarious. Hilarious. It's actually my most viewed podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. But those two are funny.
Yeah.
Funny people.
And what I do like is they're very real.
Yes.
Authentic, so
Yeah.
which I love.
And foolish.
Yeah. But I've also been looking forward to being invited for Ms.Understood, but and najua ni shida ni the first
You know, the
nini.
revival began with women. The next leg of the revival is going to be masculine. Don't worry. It shall be televised. Once we unlock the men. Guy! You know, Moz, I usually pray. Like when I usually see like a man has come for the gig, I usually tell God, I'll be faithful with this one. I'll be faithful, God.
In fact, I was going to ask you, do dudes come for
Yeah,
Misunderstood?
well, you can tell dudes who are being coerced by their girlfriends, do you love me? Then take me. So usually I'm like, you're not very happy to be here. But men, they come, not as many though. I think the most I've ever had at one gathering was 7 men.
7 men.
And let me tell you, you couldn't pay me enough.
I
was like, all of you look cute, but there are 7 men. There are 7 men. And I'm so petty, I even counted. That's how you know I'm shady. I'm shady.
No, but you see, because you're used to having all these
women,
wonderful women there with you. But then you have these random 7 jamas who've rocked up.
And even them usually ask them, so Monamli come? Like, why did you come? Why did you come? It's like, no, we know. We just like the topic. I'm like, yeah, I can see your girlfriend. I can see your girlfriend.
Dudes, please,
Yeah, stop it. Don't manage me.
You know how this thing goes.
We know how it works.
That's why I say women are powerful.
Yeah. But when women buy in, they buy in most.
100%.
Kabisa. But even men, that's why the man demographic is the best. Now you guys are loyal to the fault. That's all. Nothing will break you. If I like you, by then nothing. You'll do nonsense, I still like you.
Jamas, we don't have eternal beefs.
No.
They're momentary. Tumekosana saizi.
Imeisha.
You're sorry, Imeisha. For you guys, you have to carry it for a couple of... Actually, I have friends who've not talked for a long time.
Life. Ask me. Can publish a whole manual. That's another podcast altogether.
You should.
I'm envisioning a series.
You should. You should, Bana.
Yeah, but it's an interesting one. It's an interesting time.
But I'm so jazzed with what, just watching just like seeing how, God has just allowed you to be able to thrive and to grow and just your faithfulness in it.
Yeah.
When I saw, like how long ago did you start Misunderstood? 3 years ago?
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yes.
I was like, this is brilliant. I was like, this is like 100% brilliant.
Yeah.
And the other thing that really, got me was when we were working together in Kubamba Radio, I could see you're outgoing, but you're also very reserved.
Are the cameras on before I start saying useless things here?
No.
No, but
See,
I still am.
Yeah.
Very. It's just that I feel like some opinions are not welcome everywhere. Yeah, and I think I've had to learn to gauge myself. Yeah, so deep down on the inside, they don't come more Republican than me. Like if I lived in a house like this, there'd have been a flag of Kenya here. Like I'd be a Karen completely. Like that type of behavior?
Yeah.
Completely. But I think the activity calls for a different type of persona.
Yeah.
It's just the way like I look at sometimes and I think I look at Muji and I'm like, you're such a scammer. Like out here people think you're so much energy. He's so introverted. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
He enjoys introversion.
So you guys are 2 introverts?
No. I'm very extroverted. Now, in that light, personality-wise, I think he usually thinks to himself, guys, she's leaving the house. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. You have saved me. You have saved me, God. Because I'll annoy him. But now he's like, in my thoughts, I'm having a good time. I can listen to my music.
Yes.
I can talk to whoever I want to talk to. I don't get it. During COVID, I felt like I was going to die. In fact, I was sure that if I miss the rapture, this is how it should look like on earth. Like, that we're not seeing people.
Yes.
We're not going for gigs.
Yeah.
Church is...
You can't go to church.
Woo! I was dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but opinion-wise, very reserved still.
I mean, I remember you from... like, you used to walk into the office early.
Yes.
So when I figure the office at like 8 o'clock, I'd always find you with your faithful.
Yeah.
What was that student Bible called?
My Teens for Life.
Yeah?
My Teens for Life Bible.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Yes. Like you're so faithful, Kua.
Guy, please record in the part. People, lest they think that I began with the Bible the other day.
Hey, like on a daily.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever came to the office and you were not doing your devotion early in the morning.
Yeah. That's upbringing though. That's my dad completely. I think I don't give him enough props as I should, but he did. Like when I was like a kid, like young,
yeah,
my dad used to get me these cute devotional coloring books called God and Me.
I think I should
From-
probably hand over this phone. Kale, but nikupatie tu.
From what do you call it? Bible, what do you call that thing? Scripture Union.
Yes.
They had them. So you'd have a memory verse, a song, and an activity. And I've always enjoyed, I think he made me feel like, Bible study isn't shady.
Yeah.
So I've always enjoyed it.
Oh,
yeah.
man. And also your devotions, because you'd also lead us through devotions and through times of prayer. You were very deep. And
I still am. Why are you saying what?
Oh,
Moz
sorry.
water. I don't respect the past tense understanding of this conversation.
So this is, please talk to my people because wase wa Kenya Power wamekaa kusoma mita.
It's now the time. It's now the time. I'm just here. Now what do I do? The speaker, the host is not here. So hey guys, welcome to the DJ Moz Podcast by Nyawira Takeover. I knew this time would come. It's night time. Yeah. All of you are coming for me. This is the time. So it's DJ Moz, but Nyawira overshadowed. Imagine chasing the whole host away. This is the madness of this thing. Welcome back, DJ Moz, to your podcast.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It doesn't get more real than this.
Love it.
Ndio shida kufanyia kwa hao.
That's the problem. It feels like tukiwa na mamaji sasa, now that's what we call it quits.
Alafu sasa mimi na pria sikate stima.
Now is not the time.
Now is not the time. It is not the time for him to do this.
Dare you come.
In fact, when such a deep point, we can't even go back there now. No.
Tumeshafanya intro.
Yeah, tushafanya intro. Wacha tuendelee bana. But how you finding how have you found yourself getting that space now where you're doing, these amazing things, for Misunderstood? Because let me say something.
Tell them.
So I knew you have a great personality. Very relatable. Unacheki. But at the same time, tulikuwa pamoja kwa radio, I used to find yourself very reserved.
Yeah.
Na ni kama ulikuwa unatoshanisha wasee.
That's true. Bado mi ufanya. Even in this moment, let the record reflect.
Unatoshanisha wasee trying to see how you're going to
find your way around it. That's good.
And sometimes it used to frustrate me.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, I do. And I will tell everybody though, I think it's a good place to also say, I think you played a big part in what has become of Misunderstood today.
Wow.
And I say that genuinely, not because I'm on his podcast, before you're judging me. Like, of course she has to say that she's on his podcast. No, it's because I don't even think I know. There was no other place I had any media training apart from you, Moz.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shamelessly threw us in the deep end.
100.
And shamelessly. Shamelessly. Do you know anything about cameras? Let's go and do something. And it was so funny because I feel like God always made sure that we were always in the same spaces together.
Yeah.
So like even TV, as we are seeing it today, Moz, what we're doing now was what you put us on air with Timeless many years back.
Yeah.
And let me tell them the story because they're not aware. They're just thinking, this girl is just throwing big names. Let me tell you what happened. So we were in Kubamba at the time. And Moz, the great innovator, decided, by then let's do this thing. Because at the time, Kubamba's core business has always been high schools.
Yeah.
But she wanted to create a product that was for high school, but highlighting them in high school.
Yes.
So Moz made us producer, made us script writers, made us cast. And he said, by then now that you're here, you're also the host. Let's go. I had no knowledge of it at all, Moz.
Yeah.
But I knew because it was also a group of us who were friends at the time. So it was Timeless and I.
Yes.
We always sat together.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed Timeless. His foolishness is the best ever. Like, they don't come funnier than Timeless. Like, he'll say some strange things. You're like, where is this from in your mind? And Moz put us on this thing and we recorded quite a number of episodes, actually. We went to high schools. We were focusing on their stories.
Yeah.
We were doing a lot of those things.
The first one was Bush.
Yes, it was Bush. And then we went to Lenana.
Lenana
Never
school.
forgotten.
Yes.
The shot on the train. I was like, what, Nyawira, what is all this? That's the first place I thought about how I should dress in front of a camera. And I've never done it before.
Like in those days, we were broke.
Okay.
Couldn't even afford to do makeup.
We couldn't afford. We never knew. Thank God for good skin. You know, sometimes the Lord helps you out of your problems. But
on your side, I'm not sure about Noel's.
Timeless is the Lord who keeps him.
Yes.
It's the Lord who keeps him. But I think it's that you threw us a lot in that radio as well. The day Kubamba Radio was starting, I remember that morning. I think I still have that picture somewhere. Mm-hmm. You made us be there when Tina and Danko first went up.
Yeah.
Then we were doing everything. And it was so nice to see, like to learn, like this is how you plan music. This is how you do. I've never used it, but I was exposed to it. Yeah. So many times people are like, oh my God, you're so gifted. It's your time. No, it's not my time. I've done my time. I've done my dog hours. And it never pays off at the time.
Yeah.
No, completely not. And also, I think looking back at the journey, I was telling someone because I was telling them what was coming, is like, I've talked about you on so many podcasts. So many podcasts. Like I've mentioned you in so many podcasts because God used you so much to make me not aware of my gift, but to push you, just to push you. Yeah. And I refuse to be pushed also. Don't be here thinking this girl was just obedient. Ow, stubborn. They don't come more stubborn than me.
The end. If I had hair, I would have been pulling it out.
Because he saw something I never saw. Yeah. And I think that's the blessing of it. So how did that journey start? It started a lot with Moz in meeting rooms, debriefing Kubamba on Sunday.
Yes.
What the heck, Moz? What the actual heck? And sitting there and thinking about the topics, making you do promos. You know, Tawanda sent me a promo that we did for Kubamba.
The one in Woodley?
Yeah.
In my ride?
In your car. And we fingered there with Gigi and you're the ghetto. But when he sent it to me, I got so emotional. I was like, wow. It wouldn't have made sense now. Yeah. So I think sometimes we value the journey.
It worked that season.
It was needed.
It was perfect for that season.
So now when you make me do some foolish things like, I'm like, I've done worse. Let's go. The promos, and then that also evolved, also moves into now also stage management.
Yes.
You made me always do talent.
Yes.
Well, praise the Lord, that's how I met my husband.
Yeah.
Hey. So,
and Mo didn't give me that credit, by the way.
Yeah, this guy's, in fact, I was telling him, Mo should have walked you down the aisle, though. He's the one. He should have told you, I have given you off now.
We can repeat it.
We can.
Yeah.
After 5 years, we'll come and do a rematch.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot. I think looking back at that journey, I felt like it was a lot at the time.
Yeah.
But it was so important, Moz.
Absolutely.
So important.
And one of the things I've always believed in, till to date, I'm like, throw people in the deep end. Then expose your people to as many different things as possible, because somehow they'll find their space.
Yeah.
They'll find something that they absolutely love, especially when young guys come and they say they love media. Msene kama kwambia, I want to be a host.
Yes.
That's one part, but then there's the other part of, thinking and producing through the show, or, working behind the camera, or so
heavy lifting.
Yeah. Because it makes you all rounded, and somehow you'll find something that you're like, actually, this is what I really love, and I'm going to walk down this line, so. Perfect. And I'm going to give you those shows for Nini. Gubash School.
Oh my gosh. I mean, the day those will ever air, I think it'll be very funny to watch. It was so funny.
Yeah.
I thought about them. The first day, we got on KTN. That week, I was very, I was like, wow. And yeah, God just orders our steps.
Yeah.
Because even when we began hosting high schools, some of the things I was asking them, I was like, I've asked this question before. Why does it feel familiar? It's because we did it. We did it. And we did it with nothing. I mean, and I think it's, I know it's going to sound like all hail the lion Moz, but it's the truth is that I don't think I've seen someone so resilient. You sent us with nothing. Can you talk? Do you have a microphone? Micah, let's go. And we would go and do these productions. And you know what was so fun? And I think it's the simplicity of that time.
Yeah.
Was that we were just doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like, let's just have a good time.
Yeah.
And we did.
And we didn't have much. I mean, like I was saying, wardrobes yetu tulikuwa kuizi unang'ara gaga.
Na ni Mungu ametuweka. Acha nikwambia akikuinua inuka. That's a whole sermon right there.
Hey, nakwambia, the other day I was going through your IG and I was like, hey, unabadilisha tu mamngaro tu.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is, because there were days we were roughing it.
We were. And I think, we've come a long way, Moz. Yeah. And I think it's also maybe just I think there are so many things in that journey you made us do that was so funny.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the day you took us to Kisii. No, yeah, it was Kisii for the show on Sunday.
Yes.
And
At
I
Kisii
was
school.
seated there. I'm like, Moz, what are we doing here? So, but it was so funny because we managed to watch Enid do her show.
Yes.
Then we watched you guys doing your show.
Yeah.
But we were all in the running. What aren't we doing? Yeah. And now looking back, anytime I see anybody running around trying to, okay, Nyawira, do we fix your mic? I'm like, this was me. So I think I think in that journey you also get to appreciate everybody's role. You don't think of yourself as a superstar.
Yeah.
Which you broke a lot of. I think when people are like, oh my God, I'm humble. I'm like, you don't know. You don't know. We've done so much aside from this. So I think it's a great thing to say, like, just do the work, do the time.
Yes.
It'll make sense later.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you did highlight earlier about how you appreciate the value that your dad has put into your life. Have you because you lost your mom?
Yes.
How old were you when you lost your mom?
19.
That's hard.
That is hard. Yeah.
That's because it's I think it's at that place where you really
Is that life?
Yeah.
Yep.
And you really need that motherly advice.
counsel.
Yeah. But how do you feel like now you're here with your dad? How are you able to navigate through this, Nyawira, and the bond between you and your dad?
Yeah. So I think the blessing is growing up. Both my mom and dad played a very significant role in my upbringing.
Yeah.
As you can clearly tell, I'm a lot to work with. Yeah. So it took a big team. God bless them. But I think the transition from when she passed on and then my dad, I did feel the vacuum, but it never killed his relationship with me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think I think when you get older, you appreciate your folks a bit more because now you can have a bit more meaningful conversations.
Yeah.
Granted, it was also not as easy, but it's like on the money. Every year on my birthday, my dad still gets me a Bible as a birthday gift without fail. In fact, the other day, he bought me such a huge one. I was like, hey, do you not think I'm reading? But it's been a thing he's always done.
Yeah.
And so some things didn't shock the system.
Yeah.
The absence and grief was completely very difficult because also, like, at 19, life is starting. You're either transitioning into campus.
Yeah.
And then you are thinking about like life. You're thinking, guy, now when I'm dumped, now who will I go telling? And then you're thinking about marriage.
Yeah.
When that time comes, what happens? And all these seasons, they keep on bringing in waves of different forms of grief.
Yes.
Because like even on my wedding day, it was very intentional that I had very many flowers because she loved flowers. It was a bit much if now looking back, but hey, it was beautiful. But it was because I felt like I wanted her there.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to see like what would she have thought? Like I'm the last born.
Yeah.
And I'm the last girl. So what would she have thought going through all those things? And funny enough, none of my siblings, my two older sisters, my mom passed on the year my sister got married. Nyokabi also the same thing. My mom had already passed on by the time she was getting married. Now children have come into the story. So you look at that full circle picture and you're like, you could see it like, God, you denied us such a good time.
Yeah.
But then you could also see that God, you're allowing us to still live.
Yeah.
I think it's a perspective thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so as you're here you are now, you are getting into college years. And like I remember, like even during our conversations at that time, you were in Daystar.
Yes.
Started taking communication.
Yes.
But then you were like, I don't think I'm feeling this thing.
And I hated it completely. And I think also maybe, yeah, I will say, I think I had a pre-midlife crisis, right? Like at 19, what are you doing with midlife crisis? What are you doing at 19 with midlife crisis? But I also think, looking back now, and I think with the help of a lot of therapy, is that I was trying to look for expression devoid of grief. Like you're trying to find your own thing. Like, this is who I am. I'm not the chick who lost her mom. And it happens. But then also the challenge with that is that you work so hard trying to make everybody understand that you're okay.
Yeah.
But inside you're just dying slowly. So I didn't find my rhythm, Moz, and I think I really struggled. And I think that's the other place I really want to appreciate my dad, is that he was still very graceful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I was serving at Kubamba, I had taken a break from school completely. I was like, forget it, I'm done with this thing. And my dad was so honorable. He was like, do you want to see what this is? Yeah. Blessed that it's a Christian organization. But I think when now it was time to leave Kubamba, I was like, you know what, let me go back to school and finish what I started. And so I think it's a good thing for me.
Did you change universities at that point?
Yes, I did. Good idea, bad idea. Yeah,
Please
good idea.
elaborate.
Because good idea, it was important to do. Just for a new environment and a new feel. Bad idea, because I feel like I had gotten a rhythm at Daystar already. Yeah. And I'll forever love Daystar, but yeah.
But they're also very
different. Because it's Daystar and USIU.
Hey.
Yeah.
I always had a fear of my friend.
Yes, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It's a good school. I will tell you. It's good because
It is.
global belief, global thinking.
Mhm.
And so did Daystar.
Mhm.
I think both of them serve the right purpose.
Yeah.
But I think with USIU, it was like, you're here for this, get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were happy that you're a Christian, but get it
But
done.
get it done, yeah.
Macha mambo. Yeah.
You know, yeah, because the difference was they always very Christian. And then you have the other extreme of USIU where they're like, yeah,
Good times.
good times.
Make it happen.
When in Christo, as guys just want, it's very,
Yeah.
it's a very secular institution.
Very secular. But you see, also, I think maybe it's just to also say, I think sometimes you can go to such places, but you have to be very aware of who you are.
Yeah.
I've never thought twice about being a believer. I've never thought twice about being a Christian. This is just who I am.
Yeah.
So even if I'm Uko, I'm like, what? And yeah, guy, could this be Sodom? But then deep down, you're like, yeah, no, it's not Sodom. This is my reality. This is who I am. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think my concern was, I think nikiangalia wasi kadhaa wameenda hiyo chuo.
They lose it.
They lose it.
Yeah.
They lose the plot. Not just kidogo.
Full script.
completely. And so I was like, Acc Nyawira. And because I'd lived through one of my closest friends,
Yeah.
and when he told me where he was going to go for uni, I was like, Akiani,
Forget it.
Lord, please just help us.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was never the same.
Yeah. I think it can make you.
Yeah.
And then also, it's also not the right thing to say, but it's true, is that those spaces are so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's fun. It's fun. It's good times. Hey, if we're having a good time, we're having a good time.
Yes.
Then, man, it's like, yeah, but that good time is so momentary. So just let it go. It's not as good as you think.
As in, I remember when, sorry, now, even as we're talking now,
Yeah.
I have all these things that are going through my head.
Mhm.
And because I'm like, here you've gone through, had you done 3 years of Daystar?
Yeah. I was in my final year.
You in your final year.
Actually, my final year, second semester.
So this is one of those things I'm like, I want to pull up. Yeah.
Why? And everybody was asking.
Because you're going to start fresh.
Like, what the heck, Nyawira? So I transferred a lot of my credits.
Okay, good.
So that was also a good idea.
I think there are other ways that we can be able to allow young people to experience Christ.
I think so too.
And it's one of the, but sometimes I think my thinking can be quite radical from the norm. Maybe ni kwa sababu.
I want to hear why you think so, but hey, let's act like we don't know.
I will not sit down and think about forcing these things on anyone, including my children.
Okay.
They need to see us, we'll expose them to our spaces.
Good.
We are going to leave it out.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the best way for them to be able to catch it.
Yeah.
Rather than for them to feel like we forced this thing down, because they'll never own it.
No.
So you'll go and you'll sign on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Sindio. But beyond that, you're like, it's just a task, nimemaliza,
Yeah.
story kuisha. In fact, it almost becomes repulsive at some point.
Yes.
Unacheki.
Yeah.
The beauty, now for you, is, from what I've gathered, is you've seen your mom and your dad live in a certain way.
Exactly.
Your dad has been so consistent
and very intentional.
Very. Yani mpaka
to
saizi,
date. Can you imagine
for your
Moz in
birthday,
my
bado
big age?
nakurushia Bible.
Nani Kuba, by the way, I'll send you a picture of that Bible. The other day he said, even how do you do Bible study with this one? Hey,
How do you even
it's
carry
so
it
big.
around?
Yeah, I can't carry it around.
Do they
We
know
call
that?
it Evangelist Bible.
Is it?
It's like it's a whole handbag.
Does he know that nowadays kuna apps ziko na hizo concordance?
He doesn't understand it. Like, to him, they must be. So the other day I went to see him. So I was like, oh, let me see your study. So I went to his corner where he puts his books. And he has the Jewish Bible. So I was like, you don't think NLT can meet the needs? Why do you have to read what the Torah is showing you? What's this you're going for?
He has to go deeper.
Yeah, so it's like, there's some meanings you don't get, Nyawira.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, sure, Dad. Sure. And this is just for his personal study.
Yeah.
It's not even for anything else.
Yeah.
So when you look at him, I'm like, you know what? This is a good model.
But my dad was the same way though.
Oh, really?
My dad was exactly the same way. So when he retired,
Yeah.
rather than my dad chilling, because he was a teacher,
Yeah.
and for them, their pressure for being teachers was so insane at that time. Because my mom and my dad would easily have 80 or 100 kids in one class.
Okay.
My mom and they would come home exhausted.
Yeah, because you've taught the whole
Yeah.
day.
And my mom was a brilliant math teacher. When she
Oh,
retired,
okay.
she wanted nothing nothing to do with coaching or tutoring or
Nothing.
just like, I'm done with that life.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For my dad, like even in his 60s, he started a degree in theology.
No.
Yeah.
No.
As in,
Oh
just
my
so like
gosh.
your
It's
you
just
how your dad,
interest.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and he became a Christian, like in his 50s.
Okay. So he took it gear 20.
So when he got into Christianity,
Yeah.
alingia 100.
Oh, wow.
So like he would go for classes, and so now though that Bible that your dad is giving you, that was his life. Ako hapo hivyo na Bible, alafu ako na concordance na nini. But it's because, and for me, let me say what I do value that I saw from my dad, and which is also what I do appreciate about what your dad has done, is him being able to model that.
Exactly.
And for me, I can be like, man, I can avoid certain mistakes that I saw my dad doing.
Yeah.
But then I can also follow his wins.
Exactly. Because they may look old and boring, but there are things they get right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Completely. Yeah, I think it also saves you. Because like the other day I was asking Moji, like, when God blesses us with like our children, like what would you want them to see a lot from you?
Yeah.
Like first that they should see that music is a career. I was like, okay, Viva. That was unprovoked. Yeah.
It's flashed. Let me tell you.
Like,
that comes from deep down.
Yeah, I was like, hey, that was quick.
Imetoka huko ndani kwa sababu it's one of those things that's so looked down upon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's cool. But then also second is that he said he wants his kids to be passionate about something.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's interesting because in our family, Moz, it's different. All my siblings are in the same field. Yeah, all of them. All of them are in this green economy.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's climate change, it's carbon. And our family reunions are usually very funny. It's usually like, okay, so mnongea. Oh God, there we go. Carbon. The entertainer has come. Nyawira has come. But when I sit with them, there's still some very core points of interest that we all have.
Yeah.
That were brought about by my folks.
Yeah.
Completely. Like all of us.
Are you all Christians?
We're all Christians. We're all Christian. All Christian.
What?
All Christian. All Christian and all very value-based. Yeah. So you'll hear my sister say, yeah, I read the Bible. I'm like, okay, well done. God bless the Gachugi dynasty. My other sister will say, took my kids to baptism. We're not losing a generation. My brother will talk about God in passing or like, just a casual conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, not necessarily spiritual that when we meet, we compare notes of how has the spirit been in you. No, but you can tell it's a relationship.
Yes.
So that's a seed that, I mean, we could have all the money we have or we want to have, but that's one of the things I wish like my kids, even they will say, like my mom and dad are Christian.
Yeah.
Even as we want to be,
Yeah.
I think that'll be fulfillment. Like forget everything else. This is it.
I think you guys are living his dream.
I think so.
When, like I cannot wait. I mean, you've seen how Zara has
Yeah. A fine girl.
I'm in trouble.
She's very fine, very beautiful girl. Inquisitive, but very beautiful.
Hey, I'm in trouble. So, my prayer would be that my kids would actually get that space where they own their faith.
Yeah.
And right now I'm happy, that like they'll even ask like some deep questions about even Baraka who is 7.
Yeah.
Anaweza kuuliza swali ushindu mtu ametoa wapi.
Hiyo imetoka wapi wewe?
Yeah. Like so it was very troubled but the other day that some guys were talking about how the flood didn't happen and the story. Yeah.
It was troubling him.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's a story you guys have told him.
Yeah. I mean, he's read
so
it.
cool.
It's one of his favorite stories
really?
as well. Yeah.
Okay, mine too. Because 100 years is a lot of time to build one thing, Noah. Come on.
In fact, we're reading a book. I was reading for him just like a regular book. That was talking about the flood. Just one of those comic books.
Yes.
So they're having fun. And so Baraka gets into this, and so for them, they're not acknowledging God. But Baraka he's asking me, why aren't these guys talking about God in this story?
Oh, that God told Noah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Why aren't they talking?
That disturbed him.
He did. I was like, this is...
Man,
so I pray that they continue owning that faith, and growing with it, because I think that will be my success story.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But also, I think shout out to you, Moz. Like I've seen you at missions with your kids.
Sometimes in
I find it very funny. I'm like, only Moz. Only Moz.
And tell you, they find it so...
Absolutely. As to adults, even as usually like, hey, okay, ilisha kitambo to make stand. But you see, for a kid, why it's beautiful is that it may be boring now, but it'll make sense. Like, oh, my dad used to do that.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. I cannot wait for them to be able to model in their own way.
Yeah.
Because trends are changing.
Yes.
And we won't always continue doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so it's important that we know where this guy is going.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait to see what that expression of...
But like when you think about trends, like, I mean, you've been in the game for a while, Moz.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a while.
I
mean...
It's just been 10 years.
To the power of, what are we doing here? All my life. You know, I was telling Moji the other day, you guys came to my high school when I was younger, in high school. And it was so funny because you had dreads.
Hey.
And I remember I was like,
Hey.
Moz, guy. And yeah, you've done your time. But it's to ask, like, do these trends and changes scare you?
No.
You're not scared of them?
No.
Okay, why?
Because one thing, in fact, it's so funny. I was telling you how yesterday I was speaking to a group of young people at the United Nations. And one thing the question is, well, how do you remain relevant?
Mm-hmm.
And I said the one thing that's constant in life is change.
Yes.
Life is flux.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not, it will always keep changing.
Yes.
You know, nothing is permanent here with us. And so trends will keep changing. Sindio, like, ukiangalia dress code vile tu zimebadilika.
Now we are in bell bottoms again.
We've gone back there. You get, I'm like, in fact, there's some Pastor Oscar one time alikuwa anasema, nothing is really new. We keep going back.
It's true.
You know, back in time. Now ukiangalia, now the fashion imekuwa sasa ni zile
those mom jeans, the big jackets. Actually, yeah, it's true.
And for me, I'm like, man, I'm still stuck with my skinny jeans, but
let go. Moz.
I have to let go. Exactly.
Release them. Release them. Your skin will thank you. Breathing time has come. Blood can finally move.
Yes. So trends will keep changing. But the beauty is, if you're aware about what's happening, then you're able to cope with life. Sasa shida inakuwaga when you always hang up on the past.
That's good.
When you always hang up on the past.
Yeah.
So there's no way old wine will fit into new wine.
That's right.
It can't.
Yeah.
So you also have to morph. So I have to allow myself to be able to morph. And then I also need to be aware that there are certain things I'm not able to do now.
Yeah.
And so I'm so happy always to embrace like the new generation.
I was going to ask you about that because also, welcome to the DJ Moz Podcast, featuring Nyawira as the interviewer. What are we doing here?
It's good.
But I have to ask, like, you have been in spaces where you have raised the younger people and they become almost, I wouldn't want to say your competitors, but also almost like your contemporaries in the same space.
They're bigger than me.
Yeah, so how do
you
you kill like that insecurity or work on it? Because it's not easy. No.
For me, it's my greatest joy.
Oh, really?
100%. My greatest joy.
Oh, wow.
So like when I was living Citizen and, you know, Timeless was there, Gigi and Kambua.
Yeah.
I was like,
Get
who
it.
else?
Yes.
Who else
Yes.
than these guys? Because I've spent so much time with them.
Yeah.
So much time with them.
You've seen them grow.
I've seen them grow.
Yeah.
And I love each one of them because individually because they're so different.
Yeah.
And at the same time they have such great value.
Yes.
I mean, you've seen now even Kambua sasa maze. Sisi tunamwangalilia huko juu sasa.
You know, anytime she tells me, hi, Vera, I'm like, it's me. It's me. Yeah. And I think, but I've always wanted to ask you that question because also I'm beginning to feel like it's the thing that stifles us in the faith a lot.
Completely.
Like Moz is growing, he's going to grow someone, but where? Kaa hapo kwanza. Give it time. Yeah.
The thing is, it's never about us, Nyawira.
I like that.
The problem is we make it about us.
Powerful.
That's why you'll find, you know, people holding on to certain positions for such a long time. Even when trends and life is moving on and you're like, I cannot fit into this place anymore.
I'm fighting. You're
fighting to hang on. Yeah. But we forget that it's not about us. But in fact, the other day, and I should put out that devotion, we're supposed to be living out, you know, God's narrative being seen through our lives.
Okay, that's good. God's narrative being seen through our lives.
Yes, being lived out even through our lives.
Okay, so it's not your story.
It's not.
Oh, that's so powerful.
When you make it about you.
Which is his camera? Please let's zoom in for that moment right there. That's such a powerful statement. Because we're beginning to write our own stories, act like they're our stories.
Yeah. But Psalm 139 says, before I lived even a single day, you knew me. Yeah. And my entire life was written in your book.
Oh, wow.
So,
oh, that's so good.
So unajaribu kuishi life kivyako.
Yeah.
and to hold on to these things. So my beauty is seeing that the guys who are coming, the opportunities that God is showing me, they're not about me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I can't be everywhere.
Yeah.
All
You're
I
not
can
God.
no, I'm not God.
Yeah.
No, my job is to open up those doors
Yeah.
and let other guys go and thrive in them. So for me, this season
Yeah.
that I'm in
Yeah.
has probably been one of my hardest.
Okay.
In terms of, because I'm not on TV anymore, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I really want to be there.
But
I
you're on
embrace
TV in a different way.
Yeah,
How the
because
DJ Moz Podcast?
that's it.
Yeah.
So I'm on the podcast.
Yeah.
But this is such a new thing
Mhm.
that not many people
Have jumped in.
Have jumped into
That's
it.
true.
But yet I know that this is what needs to be done for this season.
I like that.
But the beauty now is we have like Akina Maxi and
Yes.
Akina Waheto,
Yes.
you're there on television
Yes.
and Akina Timeless are there.
Mm.
And so when you guys thrive and you seize this opportunity, even high school, like I hardly go for missions. There's a time when we were young and free and single. We could go
An idol. Use the big word,
Let me
idol.
tell you, idol, yes. And we could go anywhere, Bana. But then at the same time, I have to embrace the season that I'm in, where I have 3 kids
Yeah.
and I have a beautiful wife.
Yeah. You have a
And
life to build with
I have
them.
a life to build with them.
Yeah.
And it's important for me, for my family,
To respect that.
for my family to know that
Dad
they
is here.
are, yes,
Yeah.
dad is here, my husband is here.
Yes.
So sometimes they feel like I overwork.
Mm.
But I try to be very intentional to spend time at home. So as long as I invite for certain places and I'm not able to go for them.
Yeah.
Because like now.
Your reality is alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zara, and I digress, Gado. But Zara is, Zara is 13 now.
Can you imagine?
In the next 5 years.
She's getting her ID.
Yeah. And
Running
she's
around
out.
this city.
Once she goes to uni in Yoguo.
Yeah. Kai Moz, 5 years!
So,
Chai.
yeah.
Wow.
So I never ever wanted to feel as though it should never be looked at as competition.
I like that.
But the beauty should be that we're here we're here fulfilling Christ's work in our lives. Those good works that he started?
Yes.
That's exactly what we're supposed to be doing.
So not your own works.
So Misunderstood.
Yeah. It's a God good work.
It's a God good. In fact, that's
Hallelujah.
it. It's a God good work.
You heard it from the prophets. You've heard it.
And what you're experiencing right now.
Yeah.
Nyawira, the truth is you've not seen the whole big picture.
No.
All you're seeing is now.
Yeah.
All you're seeing is Misunderstood now.
Yeah.
But as you continue being faithful with what you're doing with Misunderstood, God is going to show you other things and you'll be like, okay, Nyawira,
Next.
hebu cheki ile kitu. So you have Misunderstood here, then you have something else happening there. Maybe Moji should do Mr. Right.
Mr. Hard.
Mr. Hard, that's it. So he'll show you something else. And as you have these two things going on, but because you cannot be everywhere, somehow you're going to find someone else that you can be able to live doing something, this one thing.
Yeah.
And then as you head in that direction, you'll find, right now you're alone, but then you find that you have 3 people who've come to join you.
Exactly. Who can do the work also.
Who can do the work also. Or they may help you make your work easier.
Oh, that's powerful.
So as you continue, then God just continues showing you what's happening because, man, I was in UG. Having a conversation with some young guys from Watoto Church. They watch you guys and they talk about Misunderstood.
Watoto Church?
Aye. These are young ladies.
Are you now saying I'm global? I'm ready. I'm ready. I receive it, Lord.
You had better think about how you'd head out in that direction.
Evolve also in that direction.
Including Ben and Shiro.
Yes.
They need to think about how
evolve,
they can,
grow out of this local thinking.
Those guys watch your content.
Oh, wow. Hey.
That was big.
It is big.
Yeah.
It is.
So they won't sit and watch DJ Moz podcast. Because mimi ni mzai. But you're perfect. You're relevant. They look at you. You look cool.
I am cool.
You dress the part.
Yeah.
Thank
you, Moz.
You love Jesus.
Hala.
You have great values. So for me, I'm like, if we're not championing Nyawira, then what the heck are we doing?
Missing the bus. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that wisdom. Because I think I've been seeing it a lot of late. Like people hoarding the vision because they don't want anybody else to come. And then when the other person comes, you're so intimidated. Una kanyagia.
Yeah.
I love it.
It will die with you. Your vision has to
outgrow you. Outlive you.
Outlive you.
Outlive you.
It it has to outlive you.
Yeah.
So you also being surrounded by, and you'll see them, Nyawira. You'll see those guys who come and surround you. Those are your people. You know, guys who come and grind with you, and they might be there with you the long haul.
Yeah.
Or they might be with you for a short time. So that God also shows them, I have a script for you that I need you to live out. You know, so your time here is done. You need to go and do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Deep vibes.
I'll take it. Iku ni kunoma. Hey.
Deep
So
vibes.
I thought it was just good times. Gosh. Never knew I meant to live here with an offering in Moses' hand. The
But
prophet cannot be seen empty.
Ndio hiyo sasa by the na nini namba ya M-Pesa iko hapa hivi down tafadhali.
But I like that. I like that, Moz.
How have you enjoyed Misunderstood? Like, you know, and in fact, let me even ask you, like, how did you come up with Misunderstood? What happened?
Moz, you know, one of the things I feel like I'm allergic to after dust and poverty is foolishness. I feel bad when people don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know.
Yes.
Yeah. So I really wanted to just give understanding to things. Either I have gone through, or either I have read about, or I've had conversations with people concerning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like now, are you ready to hear how many times I'm going to repeat our conversation in different places, in different ways? You're not ready for me. I'll give you some credit, Moz. But it's that I really wanted that to happen. I realized that I didn't want it. So Moji and I are not like couple content people. No, that's not how. God is God, and I trust him. But my husband was not wired for PDA. No. You know, like the other day, it was so funny. I was somewhere and I was telling him, like, hey, this is so cool. Like, let's go for a date night.
Yeah.
Like, date night. I'm going to watch a play. Like, watch a Mambo Mingi Nyawira, you know. And he's the sweetest soul. He expresses love so differently.
Yeah.
And it can't be packaged in the way, like, our rom-coms cover them.
It doesn't.
Heck
That's not
no.
Moji for you.
We're walking in town with our hands together. Why? We're crossing the road together. No, why? So because we're not that way,
Yeah.
we knew from the beginning that was not going to be our vibe.
Is that your love? Maybe I should even ask you.
No. I think
Okay.
I've grown up also. Let me also give myself some pat on my back. I think now my biggest, my loudest love language is quality time and gifts.
Ooh.
It's always been gifts. Yeah. I'm material, judge me your free time. But I really do. I like gifts. I like sentiment. I like people thinking, wow, we got this way you were thinking about you.
Yeah.
I love it. It makes me happy. But what happened is that with that, Moji never, that's not our type of vibe.
Yeah.
So one time we were with Ben and we were recording the Psycho podcast.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. And I mean, that podcast was a wonder. We make fun of it all the time when we're together because Ben was so faithful with little.
Yeah.
Like we sat on a seat exactly like this. And we had like a camera here, 2 softbox lights.
Yeah.
Bare minimum. Yeah. He wasn't trying to be at high quality, but what he had known before many of us had was the audiovisual element of podcasting. So it wasn't good quality, but he was already doing what we should have all been doing from the beginning.
Yeah.
So we did our first episode together on grief. Then we did the second episode with him. Third episode, when we were recording the third episode, Shiro walked in, his wife, and she said, Nyash, by the way, when are you starting your own podcast? It's like, why would I? Why would I do that?
Wow.
Me, I'm happy contributing to my brothers. So like, and also Ben and I have such natural chemistry. We're very, very good friends.
Yes.
So it's very easy for us to vibe.
Yeah.
So the problem with that conversation was that Moji was in the room. I wish he wasn't sometimes. Because the next day, how do you know you were in a meeting? And I was being asked, so what do you want to do? So what do you think about this thing?
Oh,
so how do you
man.
go? So I was
Zim
like,
is pushing you now.
completely. And that's what I'm telling you. Every season of my life has been characterized by little Moses.
Yeah.
For 20. So he planned out everything. So we did the first episode. So he told me, you think about what you want to do, but just know the technicality is ready. So I said, Sawa, let's see how it goes. So a lot of the first episodes, we were still dating. We were shooting it in his home. Because he had an aesthetic cute ladder on the corner.
Yeah.
And a couch. I was like, Twende, let's shoot there. And Devi, God bless him, came and would come and set up and would shoot. But what was so interesting was he told me, I'm going to think about every other thing, but you must think about the content and the name. So I was like, okay, I want to be understood by people because it's one of the things I fear the most. Like when you hear me, do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm misunderstood. Let's go. You will understand me.
Yes.
And so that's how it came about. Began highlighting different conversations that I knew at the time I was either struggling with or I had people around me talking about, and I was like, that's actually a real issue.
Yeah.
So we began like that.
So good.
Kidogo, Hiya, this thing is something.
Yeah.
And it's grown. So that was just the digital expression.
Mm-hmm.
I think a year after that, we did, so I journal a lot of my thoughts. Because sometimes if I let them out into the public, people would think I'm a wild one. So I write them and take them to the Lord in prayer. So one day we were journaling I was journaling my thoughts and I was writing and I was like, by the way, why can't this be a devotional for someone?
Yeah.
So I began writing my devotionals.
Yes.
So the first devotional was fully online. Not because of anything else. It was because I had a laptop, I could type. Jeremy could do some cute graphics. We sent it out. Yeah.
I remember that one.
And it grew, Moz. It grew. What I didn't know at the time, because I think that's the blessing of doing things, is that you don't know what you're doing. You're just doing it. Like obedience is, get it done.
Yes.
It'll make sense ukombele.
Oh, so good.
Over time.
That's a gem that you just said.
That's right. Surely, what are we doing here?
Ziendelea kuzidrop tafadhali.
Big one, nazo. But what happened was I kept on doing it. I did content. I did my devotional. At this time we were married, but remember it was post-COVID. And it was that awkward time when gigs were not as much. And my husband is a full-time musician and entertainer, but there were no gigs. So he had to stomach a lot of my talking. So I'd talk to him and tell him, okay, so chapter 1, this is what the day is. And Moji has stomach. I mean, God bless that man. Because the things he has to listen to, I wouldn't marry me sometimes. I'm like, hey. But he really was in the mix.
Yeah.
After that, continued. Now, by the time, the second one, we released it also. Now, the second one, he was like, you can't do it the same way. Now, this one, let's think about media tours. Let's think about, I was like, wow. For a devotional. He said, yes, it's material. Let's try. And we did it. It got such good love. But then now, the funniest thing was, as I was growing, he was studying the audience. I wasn't. Me, I was just putting it out there. Do you have something? Twende. But he kept on saying, there are more women. There are more women. There are more women. I said, women were trauma for me. And I'll be telling you about that later. But I was feeling like, if I hear another women's thing, me, I'm done. I can't. I know this thing. I've been there before. I know what it does.
Yeah.
But what happened was after that, we did content. So I told him, by the way, you know what? I have had the Lord. No one can fight when they've had the Lord.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best way to dump a girl. So God has told me, she's like, guy, okay, you take it up with God. But anyway, digress. Nyawira focus. So I told Moji, I've had God and I want to do a gathering.
Yeah.
He said, why? What do you mean, Nyawira? Why? I said, yeah. I think we have something. Let's try it. And with it, I launched my third devotional. So I reached out to a few people and all of them were saying no. And I was like, okay, maybe it's not the time. Then I reached out to Kambua on Instagram, on DM.
Yeah.
And she said, yes, Wira, let's go.
Wow.
I said, what? And every time, I think I speak about her every time because she doesn't know what her yes meant to me.
Wow.
It made me believe that I wasn't crazy, that I really did hear God.
Yeah.
And even though I was going for other people, I was going for people I thought were going to make it easier. But God knew Kambua was the one to start with.
Yeah.
So we went. I reached out to her. We planned. We made our poster. We reached out. Never forgotten. That day, because I'm still a good wife and my husband loves me in Jesus' name. That day, I had gone to the shop to buy some things for dinner. So I went to there's a supermarket not too far from where we stay. So when we went, I got things. As I was coming back into the house, the ticketing platform says, hey, Nyawira, you sold out. I said, sold out?
Oh, my gosh.
Why are you coming? Why are you coming? What are you coming for? Now the nerves and anxiety was
my
I'm
gosh,
like, I was okay telling you, but now I have to think about it. It was the most simple gathering ever.
Yeah.
Because everything about that event was supported. The chairs I had were given to me by Patricia from Party Lounges. She gave me a full setup.
For free.
She didn't charge me a coin, even for transport.
And
her chairs were really good. Shout out to Party Lounges. So she gave me
plug
seats.
them in.
Plug. She gave me seats. The stage, I think, was 5K. Yeah, because it was just one slab and 2 seats. And our seats, we sat with them there. The grounds were at Fairview Hotel. And Karen, at the time, was the manager. She said, you know what, come. You come have the venue.
Gosh.
Just promote us online. I said, online, is that what you want? We'll even dance. We'll do somersaults on your grass. Is that what you need? You have it.
That's so good.
That happened. We did the gathering. And because one of the things the Lord is working on me on is that I have a severe attachment to control. So I was getting my face done, but I told the makeup chick, face this side so that I can see people as they are walking in. So that I can see, who are these coming?
Yeah.
Most, it was so many older women. It wasn't younger.
Wow.
Now my heart is in my mouth because I'm saying older women, now they vet content. They just don't think
because
of
now
vibes.
for you when you think you're sitting and curating content.
I was thinking about my younger sisters.
Yeah.
I was like, let's go through this. Stronger together. We shall overcome. I'm like, now older. Hey?
Yeah.
We did the we walked in and I remember Kambua and she came with Becky. Yeah. Which was another full circle moment for me.
Yeah.
Because Becky was the first one to ever make my ever first profile.
Wow.
So I saw her seated there and I was like, what? What's happening here? But it was like an out of body experience. So we had this conversation with Kambua, one of the best conversations I've ever had with her because it was so raw. We couldn't even release the content because that was such a vulnerable. It was very heavy. So we finished, we were prayed for. And when we were done with the event, because all my friends were doing everything. Yeah. Mike Manoa, you're a worship pastor, you're an usher. Nataka kuona pale ukiasha. 100, you're a beautiful content creator. Even you are ushering. And you are seeing them running around with seats and doing all these things. The blessing of community. So when the event was over, Pastor George came up to me and he said, Nyawira, you need to get your house in order. You're going to get very busy. I was like, 100 people have made you think that I'm going to be very busy, Pastor. Acha. And true to it, what happened after that when we got home, no, actually, we all went for lunch, for dinner after.
Yeah.
At some Arabian restaurant, Upper Hill. We ate some very nice pilau. And the whole time, I was sitting, and they give you some nice mint tea at the beginning. Glorious.
Yes. They have amazing meat. It falls
It
off the
falls
bone.
off. Yeah. Oh, guy, Ama we go.
Hey, yes. That's
It's a whole
good plan. Hey, that's the way they do their meat.
It's heavenly. And it's not oily. It's so nice. Glorious.
Ezinoshika bone hivi, iko na
Falls
nyama
off.
ukifanya tu hivi. Nyama yote inadunda.
Now look, I'm salivating. So what happens was we finished the event. As we were going home, everything was in the car. Because remember, we don't have suppliers.
Yeah.
So Kila Kitu is in that little car. Just an abitu. As we're driving home, I'm telling Moji, you know what? We're going to do this again.
Yeah.
We're going to step out. I'm going to do 3.
Yeah. Wow.
He looks at me. Yeah. I see you are going. Let's go. So all across these conversations, now you're being told, come and speak to us, come and do. So I'm like, wow, I'm meeting more communities. But I knew one thing was sure. They met me online, they must keep me online.
Yeah.
So I kept on trying to put out as much content as I could, building a community there. The second one was with 10. We were both turning 30.
Yes.
We were like, you know what? Our 20s are over. Let's have a thing together.
In fact, I was so happy about that one because I knew you guys are good friends.
Yes. So it was even the best conversation because in Shiro, what happened is that in the green room when we were both getting our faces done, we were like, we're doing this thing. And I'm like, yeah, we're doing this thing. And God bless her because she also played a very big role in making me like step out. Because I was like, so how do we do it? What do we do? And so I was like, Twende. We did the event. And that one now was harder because it was younger people.
Oh, the audience has...
Now it's younger. And younger or our peers. So now it was fun because it was like, you guys catch up with our vibe. We're having a good time. But also it became such an interesting thing because that conversation made me so encouraged. Yeah, that younger people were willing to come and listen to you. You know, Moz, it's one thing to think you have something to say, but for people to trust you. Yeah. Oh my God. That thing is always humbling. Like you genuinely think that God can use me to bless you. That's not something I ever take for granted. No.
Yeah.
So we did the gig. We had a good time. Shiro GP came. I call her my Beyonce. And no one is taking that away from me. That video is forever etched in my mind that we are on stage. At one point, if you watch the video, I'm staring at her like, you're really here. So we did the gig. That period was also my birthday season. So we finished. We went home. So Moji said, now, 2 down, 1 to go. So what do we do? So I said, you know what? Let's end the year. Let's do a vision boarding prayer thing for the chicks.
That's so powerful.
I was sure it's going to be harder. Because, also, I think the thing with people is that they think because you've done it many times, you get used to it. Yeah. But the nerves feel different every time. So I said, let's do it. So we did end it right. We vision boarded. We were talking about fear. But this was the weird thing. This one had no guests. So Pastor George told me, it's you we come for. Do your work. Go read the Bible. What has God told us about the next year? Tell us. So I said, let's go. Wow. People thought they were hearing it for them, but I was talking to myself the whole time. I was like, you're in my thoughts. That's what you're doing. Because I was talking about fear and stepping out and, going the Pharaoh is behind you. Let's just keep going through this water. And that was a very strong message for me. We finished that event. It was so important for that event to happen.
Yeah.
Because I think that event now pushed my confidence to saying every year, this will be the model. Let's do 3. Let's do 3. Let's do 3. We began the year again with When the Heart Hurts, talking about heartbreaks. You know, sisters always talk about their hearts being broken.
Some of the best conversations, by the way.
Always the best. And it got vulnerable. It was powerful. But it was so interesting because all these events end with ministration. Like, let's pray about this thing. Yeah. And also, that's a big disclaimer, Moz, to also share with anybody, is that I don't necessarily preach at my gatherings. No. My reference will be the Bible, and I will talk about what God is saying, but it necessarily won't be a sermon. Yeah. But we will pray.
Yeah.
Because you're demons. Only God can handle, you know. And I think sometimes people, they start the gathering with 45 minutes of speaking in tongues. But I knew from the beginning, the people who come for those gatherings, some chicks will outrightly tell you, Nyawira, this is church. So she does church 3 times a year. That's what she considers as church. So when you make her feel a bit triggered from what she has left, she won't listen to God. No. There's a girl, she gave her life to Christ at Dear Younger Me. And she gave her life to Christ in my DM.
Oh,
After we were just talking, I was like, oh my God, I really enjoyed the event. I really enjoyed it. It was so much fun. But Nyawira, please tell me about Jesus. I'm like, oh, Jesus, cool. Are you saved? She said, no. I told her, and I was typing. I said, read it. After I've written it, read it to yourself. She read it. She said, nah. I told her, now you're saved.
That's amazing.
It wasn't. So it doesn't have to be. I think sometimes we also need to kill the convention.
Yeah.
There's a new thing happening. And if you're not catching on, you're missing it. Yeah. So where can you preach? But preach, catch them where they are. Don't make it a thing. Girls like dressing up. They like dressing up. Make it a theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask you about... First, there's something you said, Nyawira, that I don't even know if you realize how this has played out in your life. I highlighted earlier how I would always come to the office and find you reading the Bible. And that's exactly what you're doing.
Exactly.
You are very prayerful.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you're doing with Ms.Understood.
Exactly. Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, you know the things that we do that seem like...
What are you doing?
Yeah. Or the mundane things that we do. Ini kitu ya kawaida. But sometimes that's what God is calling you towards doing. You're always thinking about what's that other thing I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, and it's right there.
Iko tu right there in front of you, bana.
That's so true. And I never even thought about it that way, Moz, because God has had my time.
You've not veered off.
No. And also, I will tell you, I have nothing deep to tell you. Nothing. You know, Musa, like they don't come more shallow than Nyawira. Like I can be dumb. I'm a mess. But I know that's the thing, is that I can't transform you.
Yeah.
So I must introduce you to the one who can.
Yes.
Otherwise, you'll just be
That's so
thinking,
good.
guy. That chick is deep. I don't want them to think that.
That's so good.
No. I want them to say, what? And even me, I should read my Bible.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's success. That's how I measure success.
Yes.
Yeah.
And is it interesting? I do want to talk about Dear Younger Me.
Yeah.
But let me ask, is it interesting that the same guys who you're like, man, more chick drama, but those are the guys who God has drawn towards you?
Completely. Because even some of the chicks will tell you, I was going through this, and I'm like, now we can't talk on DM because this can be shared. If I told you the things we've gone through. And I also want to just encourage somebody that our personalities also are a big tool for Christ to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are people who listen to you and they're like, you're so light, you're so funny. You know, we relate with you.
Yeah.
That it's just my personality. It's not that I have sat down in a corner. And so when you feign depth, everybody can still tell, and they'll avoid you because they'll feel like there's a barrier to your madness. Like, come only this far. And I think I also want to say that I think the growth of Ms.Understood and the success of it, God willing, will always be the fact that I like talking.
Yeah.
I talk a lot. Yeah. And I want every girl to always know that it's not a shortcoming. It's just your expressive tool.
Yeah.
Now, the trick is that whatever you do and do very well, God can also use that. Yeah. It's just conversations, Moz. Yeah, Moz, this doesn't feel different from your office. No, it never did. I remember when I was telling you I was living in Kubamba, we were in your office and we sat down there for so long. Just finding out why. Okay, so what do you want to do? And it doesn't feel strange because this is you. So now there are mics, now there are cameras. But that time there were none. Yeah. So I think the blessing is that keep at who you are. God can use it.
Yeah.
Because he didn't change. Moses didn't stop stammering.
No.
He still used him.
Yeah.
Noah had a few shortcomings, but like the bottle, God still used him. Yeah. So it's just to encourage anybody.
I never
out
looked
there.
at it from that perspective.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, hey, we'll talk about it in heaven. The wine was whiny, you know?
Yes.
But the trick is to encourage everybody that sometimes you can say, now that I'm saved, I need to become a bit more boring, a bit more rigid. That's not true. I like color. I like pizzazz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that had kept me away actually for a long time from becoming a Christian.
Exactly.
Because I'd look at Christians and be like, and guys, I'm not hating on Christians, but I'm just saying that what I used to struggle with was young guys become Christians and then it's like life is sucked out of you.
Exactly.
You get, and I'm like, how is that you have, you're going to someone who's giving you life and life in abundance, alafu mazeri.
We lose you completely.
Yeah.
No. And I think the lie is dying to yourself is not your personality.
Yes.
Dying to yourself is your weaknesses.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, even your strengths. But God uses you as you are.
Yeah.
He won't make a new Moz now because you're saved. No. No. Because sometimes I think like he'll use you the way you are. So don't kill yourself from the narrative.
No.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why you have the personality that you
Absolutely. Because even if you think about like even like global speakers and global ministers, if you watch them off camera, because now I'm watching them on their TikToks and their socials, they have a personality of their own. Yeah, you're not God. Wacha mambo. Just be yourself. Hey. It bores me because I usually feel like you're so cool.
Yeah.
Why is it when you talk about God, you become so mean? You become so angry?
Yeah.
How can, and I think I'm going to use your line many times, is that how can this giver of joy make you so sad?
It doesn't.
What are you doing? Can you be happy?
Yeah.
Hey! So those are some of the things that they really encourage me because I think I'm hopeful that many women who come to these gatherings and these events will always find that you don't have to change, you have to be transformed.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference. Transforming is very internal. Like now I'm letting go of things I was holding on to. But changing myself, God will work with me as me.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And there's a beauty. The thing is, there's a beauty in who each and every one of us is uniquely made.
Absolutely.
What God does with us, when he's transforming us from the inside out, is he's removing that mess that we have within. You know, that heavy load that you carry inside. Because he wants you to be able to walk light.
Yes.
He wants you to be able to enjoy life and the fullness of life that he comes to give. You know.
I really wish guys could get it. And I actually don't think guys could get it. I wish guys could stop faking it.
Yeah.
Because this is fake now.
Yeah. Even
It's fake. It's fake, Moz, because this is not you. This is just not you. Ati now, hey. Can you imagine if this podcast is not conversational? And I'd be like, Ukuni wapi? This is not Moz. And it would have been so weird because now I'd have to align with your fakeness.
Yes.
To watch your fakeness.
Anyway, me, I don't have time for that.
I agree.
I try to keep it real. Sometimes I think I shock my people.
It's a good thing, Moz. It's a good
Even in
good
the office, banner. Because there's certain things I've refused to be hung up with.
Okay.
One thing I've always chosen to do is to enjoy my Christianity. It doesn't make it easy, but at the same time, I am not going to add laws into my life.
No.
Because if the law could save, Christ would not have come.
Absolutely.
But he came to set us free, and I want to live in the freedom that he comes to give. As in, I want to be able, najua si usema filanga free. Christians should be the freest people in the world.
Travel light.
Yeah.
But you know, it's also, and I think it's also just an expression also of yourself, is also, like when I think about third service, I'm like, this is so Moz. Moz would always go for the most random Christian gigs. Like, what was her name? I forget her name. She was a singer. We're talking about her the other day. I'll remember her name. But I remember you used to talk about her.
Local.
Atemi. Not Atemi.
Silayo. Nema.
Nema.
Yes.
Nema Talel, right?
Yes.
And you talk about her, and in my head, I'm like, you do know she left the faith a while ago. But you'd still talk to us about her albums, her music. And you know what that made
And
me
we're still
always
boys
think?
to date.
You see what that means,
Yeah.
Moz? Is that like, this is you. So when I saw that service, I was like, yeah, this is not new. This is so Moz. Like, let's have a good time. And then the Unconventional. Yeah. We would see you at festivals. I'm like, almost Pastor DJ Moz. What are you doing? But look at it.
Umenianika.
Wacha nikuanike, wacha nimwanike. And it's because what's that guy who used to play the bass and he's a gospel singer? He's done the thing with Jonathan McReynolds, with Israel Houghton.
Fred Hammond.
Not Fred Hammond. He came to Kenya for jazz.
Oh, Nani. I can see him from South Africa, is it? No.
Mm-mm. He's from the States. Is it the States? He plays the bass with his left hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's a different guy. Can't remember his name.
Can't remember him.
But I remember that he came for blankets that year and we were all there with you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah?
I'm trying to remember his name. But
Jonathan Butler.
Jonathan Butler.
There
That's
we
the
go.
guy. He's from South Africa.
Yes.
I was trying to remember
but
his name.
we were there with you.
Yeah.
So now when people are saying, why is he doing a third service in a club setting? I'm like, this is not new.
But that's just a Jesus thing.
So
right?
don't fake it. Just be you. And I think that's the whisper to everybody out there. You're working so hard to fake. Just be yourself. It's boring.
So I've got to
Napo.
ask you. Earlier on, you did say kuna place ulisema wacha tuweke bookmark hapa
Yeah,
hivi.
trauma ya madem.
Trauma ya madem.
Excellent. Now that you have gathered me here, DJ
And now you're
Moz.
surrounded by them with Ms.Understood.
Exactly. So when I was at Kubamba, one of the things I really wanted to do was start a women's-based ministry.
For real?
I really did. I really, really did because I had the blueprint. In fact, the other day I found that notebook.
Wow.
I just told God, don't ban it, don't ban it, don't ban it, don't ban it, don't ban it. But I actually, trauma is bad. It's you panic.
Man.
But it was called Supergirl Code.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted it to be the girl expression for what we have as man enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it with a few friends. We did this thing. We even recorded some videos.
What?
Let me tell you, Moz, you were ahead of the time.
What?
It was the right ministry. It was the wrong time.
Yeah.
But it failed flat on its face. That's another place I think I need to also whisper to people. I was serving your ministry and I thought it was easy to get into high schools. So I thought I could get into high schools as well.
Yeah.
That's not true. It couldn't have happened. And now I get why it couldn't have happened. I needed to wash your hands so that when you transition to glory, you'll be able to say, I've left you with a double portion.
Yeah.
That's exactly what there's an order to this thing. But I thought I could jump the gun and start it. So when they kept on telling me no, I was like, do you know what I have to offer? I have a lot to offer these young ladies. And shout out to Pastor Angie Murenga because she actually walked us through the starting. We recorded in her office at the time on Riara Road. She was such a blessing.
Oh, man.
But let me tell you, Moz, it wasn't time. So all that rejection around women made me think that for sure God was not going to call me to women again.
Wow.
Completely. So when I was doing Misunderstood content, initially I thought because we're talking about very general matters, men would be interested.
Yeah.
But who is God with a sense of humor? That it's the same girls I was avoiding that came back again.
Yeah.
Now, looking back, I know it wasn't time. It wasn't time. I wasn't aware of anything.
Yeah.
I hadn't made many mistakes at the time. I thought too highly of my reality. And I think maturity would allow for us to say, I thought I was the only one who could do the job. And what I've learned with God is that He will show you to your face that it's not you or it's not time.
Yeah.
So now when I see women are coming again, that's why I don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Because I feel like God has trusted me again. Now this time I have to do it right.
Yeah.
The other day someone asked me, why aren't you in high schools? The trauma surfaced again. I was like, guy, no, nakucha. But I look back now and I'm like, even when I'm ready to start, I don't think it's now yet.
Yeah.
God needs me to plow in this different field when the time is right to go. Because unfortunately, the intention was wrong. I felt, and I think it's a safe place to say it. I
Yeah.
felt at the time that Kubamba was very general. I felt like we're going to schools and we're doing all these things, but there's an issue girls are facing.
Yeah.
So purpose was being birthed, but I was doing it the wrong way because what I wanted to do was replace, not add value. Because genuinely looking back, if I added value, I'd have told Kubamba, let's do this thing as women.
Yeah.
But now foolishness was like, ha, it's my time. I ain't giving this to nobody. It's me.
And you're out of supported you.
I know, but that's what I'm telling you. It's a curse of foolishness. Is that now I thought of myself as you.
Yeah.
But I should have been learning from you. It wasn't time yet. And that's why even with Kambua, I really respect her.
Yeah.
Because even when we were doing that thing, we did a I Am Bold campaign. And she was one of the people that came and did the videos.
Yeah.
And I looked at those pictures the other day. I was like, wow, Kambua. God bless you eternally because you have held it down even when I didn't understand it. So I get the trauma that always surfaces when I think about women is that you're scared of failing again. But I think someone told me the other day is that you must think that now God is trusting you and work as hard as you can to make him proud of what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's now my endeavor with women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though, Nyawira, let me say, that we never have to do anything to make God proud. Because there's nothing we can ever add to what Christ did for us on the cross.
That's enough.
That's the perfect. And all we need to do is what you talked about, obedience.
Exactly. Stick it out.
Yeah. It may not be an easy path. People may laugh at you. They may mock you. They'll discourage you. In fact, some of your greatest discouragements will come from those. Apo too.
Tell me about it.
Hey, wako tu hapo hivyo next na wewe bana. Because sometimes they do not see what you're seeing.
No.
And many times we let those dreams die there because we're expecting to get the affirmation from those guys who are closest to us.
Hey!
Lakini, Yesu God akuita committee.
Exactly. He called you.
Wewe.
Oh, so good. I wish I knew this because I really wanted everybody to be on board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll never be.
It didn't work that way.
It'll never be.
I will say I now know better.
Yeah,
Maybe that's the right way of saying it.
Yes.
I now know better. Yeah. But
And that super girl code, it needs to, after being in so many high schools and colleges and, engaging with many young people, we have a huge task ahead of us.
No, we do.
And we do have a great opportunity to be able to, and this is, in fact, let me say, the reason why I'm saying that the one thing that constant is in life is change. We cannot continue doing things the old way and expect us to get a different result.
That's right. That's madness.
It is madness. Utter madness. Matope. Ngelia ma.
Mato. Ngelia mato.
So, it's like people want something deeper.
That's right.
With greater meaning.
Yes.
And even for us now, we're the place where we're saying, we've done this for a while. How do we
evolve?
And make sure that we are now doing life? Because people want to do life now.
Yep. And it's people want to do life. That's the right thing. And I think it's just to tell them, not to tell them, but to guide them.
Yes.
So they don't feel like they're doing it the wrong way. Yeah. And I think that's a blessing. I've had it since I was younger. When I was young, I had Reverend Tom.
Yes.
When I got into my teenage life, I had Reverend Tom and at the time, Kenaringo. Then after I got into ICC, I was with Bishop Gibb, now Bishop, then Pastor Gibo.
Yeah.
And then now with Reverend George.
Man, you've been surrounded by great people, man.
Now, all those men have been such strong pillars.
And your dad.
And he's there regardless of all this other. He's the godfather. But you know something also, I have to also shout out my dad for. Regardless of which spiritual authority I have been under, he has met them.
That's amazing.
Intentionally.
That's amazing.
I've always wondered why he did it. Like, I remember at ICC, there was a time we were meant to go to Garissa for a mission. And my dad called the pastor and he said, let's have a conversation. Why do you want us to go that far? What is the intention? What's the plan? And they had this long conversation with them. Before we got married, my dad met Pastor George. And he was like, okay, so us are Anglican. But I really like what you're doing. So, and like Pastor George, and carry on telling him, I know your lineage. I know Bishop JB. I know. So you're not new to me.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Pastor Gibson. Same thing with Reverend Tom. Reverend Tom used to drop me home.
Oh,
Because
wow.
Reverend Tom, God bless him, I was 9, but I was part of the worship team with 20-year-olds at the time. But that was how he discipled me.
Wow.
Yeah, so he'd bring me home. My mom would meet him in church, talk to him, how is everything?
Yeah.
My dad would speak with him also. So because in the Anglican church, pastors are also moved.
Yeah.
He also used to know where he's been taken.
Yes.
So there's so many hands in play here. Yeah. So when everybody says, "Oh my gosh, Nyawira, you worked so hard on yourself," no, I haven't.
God has surrounded
all these
you.
men have worked so hard on me. Because from all of them, I've learned such different things from them.
I almost feel it's like there's no you could have veered off in life.
No. I'm telling you, me, Moz, let me tell you, I got saved at 8.
What?
8 is when I gave my life to Jesus Christ. At the age of, I think, 13 or 14 is when I was filled with the Spirit.
Yeah.
But between 8 and 14, I got saved at Sitam Karen. Right?
Yeah.
You hear? Me, I'm the body of Christ. Are you at church? Let's go. And it was because my mom's best friend was going to Sitam at the time. And that, because we're Anglican.
Yeah.
So my mom told my dad, her friend, let's go to church. So we went. At the time, Pastor Dennis White was preaching. And he was talking about love.
Oh, man.
And I've never forgotten. I was 8. So, you know the way they say, kids, if anyone wants their hands up, put up. And I could hear my mom saying, put it down. It's not a joke. I was like, no. I want to give my life to Christ. And I went to the front.
Oh.
And after I gave my life to Christ, you know the way they give you someone to talk to you?
Yeah.
It was a lady called Rose 10. Rose 10, I think. She passed on not too long ago. And every Sunday after service at Sitam, because we would go there from time to time, she'd always ask, have you read the Bible this week? Have you prayed this week? So she was discipling me at 8. She didn't have to. Send me to Sunday school. What is the girl doing in main church? Yeah. So
that's so good.
From the moment I was born, I knew. And I know my dad and I have had that conversation of late a bit more, is that when I was born, he dedicated me. Yeah, this one is yours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, sure thing. Calm down, Hannah. There were 3 before me. But with that, I also have known that there's a mark over me.
Yeah.
So also I'd be careless not to think of it that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely just seeing you walking and the faithfulness that you've had. There are a couple of pieces that I'm picking up that are so crucial, even for guys who are watching the podcast or listening to it, is you have been surrounded by a community
completely
of solid people.
Completely.
Siwa kutupisha mbao.
Siwa vibes. Siwa vibes. And also, maybe it's also a great place to say, I think they have also modeled a lot of mentorship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Such that they didn't make me feel like mentorship was a breakfast meeting every once a month.
Yeah.
No, it was let's do the heavy lifting.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, when Jesus came back, the disciples are like, "Guy, let's hide. We're being camped for." He's gone. Now let's continue with our lives. Peter went back to the fish. Everybody was there. But when Jesus came, he didn't tell them how great heaven was. He showed them his scars. And I think that's the beauty of mentorship. You must show me your scars. Otherwise, there's nothing you're doing. So all these pastors have shown me the weight of ministry. So now when I serve with Reverend George, he doesn't make the glossy sermon the good part of the story.
Yeah.
He'll show you the heavy lifting that on Monday, he's going to dedicate a house. On Tuesday, he's praying for someone who's lost someone.
Me by the
on Wednesday, he's at a hospital.
Yeah.
I'm like, when do you rest? And then he'll also tell you, now I've gone home. You know, he'll show you that at home, he's a very present dad, very present husband. So he has modeled. He's shown me his scars also because he's shown me when he's tired. Yeah, oh my God, I can't anymore. You know, because he's not God. Yeah. So to tell people as you build a community, don't build a community on the good vibes. No.
Yeah.
You must be comfortable with saying these are the scars. This is really who I am. Yeah.
I've got to ask you about Dear Younger Me. It was brilliant, seeing Janet Mbogwa there. I have mad respect for her.
Me? So you asked me there, I was pinching myself like, yeah. You're with Janet.
As in, Janet is probably one of the most
solid
and humble people I think I've come across. It's easy for people to put on a pedestal.
Yeah.
But I remember,
Which
do you remember when we
on.
invited her for Kubamba?
Yeah.
Na tukaenda naye Kiganjo.
Don't remind me, Moz. Because that time I remember you guys are all in uniform.
Yes.
And I wasn't there.
So
me, I was watching from home. I was pissed. I was so pissed. I was like, I said, Janet, I've watched her for years, for a long time.
Yeah.
she's one of those people, before we began talking, you'd always see her liking a comment.
Yeah.
During Supergirl Code time,
Mhm.
she was one of the people who replied to my emails about doing something together.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
she was interested because that time, Dada was also taking form.
Yeah.
And I've never forgotten it. In fact, I saved that email. I'll always have it. Like, don't ever think sikufikia wakubwa. So what happened with her was, I think she'd always, like, on Instagram, when I'm doing something, she'd always like it.
Yeah.
She'd always like what we're doing. She'd always like, oh my God, I'm proud of you. You're doing such a good job.
That's amazing.
She's a genuine person.
Mhm.
But last year, this is now when I knew this girl is my girl.
Mhm.
And I didn't even know she's my girl. So there's an event that happens every year in the security forces called Athena,
Mhm.
right? I mean, it's a beautiful event, but it's for women.
Yeah.
So what they do is that they bring all the women in the security force together and they have a fantastic like gala day with different conversations and good times.
Yeah.
So me first, I was like, the caliber of people who are coming was so mighty. So I'm called by a lady and she says, hi, Nyawira. No, Janet sends me an email and says, hey, Nyawira, send me your number. So I send her my number. I'm like, you haven't called, you haven't texted. What did you want with my number, Janet? Yeah. And she tells me, I'm sending it to somebody. She's going to call you. I said, okay, cool. So this lady calls and says, hey, Nyawira, so you're going to MC this event. Janet has recommended you.
Yeah.
So I didn't think much about the event. So we went for the pre-briefing. Because high-level events like those, they're very serious about briefing. Then the pre-briefing. I was like, kuna mambo. So when we went for the briefing, I'm told who I'm emceeing with. It was Jeff. I said, what?
Jeff Koinange?
Yeah.
Hey.
I was like, me, I'm a small girl in Nairobi. I don't know. I'll be fangirling instead of emceeing.
Yes.
So then I called Janet. She tells me, yeah, I'll be coming, but I knew you're the one who could do this gig.
Yeah.
She was in the audience.
What?
She was in the audience, Moz.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you.
Like she could have emceed.
No, she should have.
Yeah.
She was the woman for the job.
Yeah.
But she gave the opportunity to me.
Yeah.
So I have such respect for Janet. Yeah. I don't think the world is aware. Because she's also shown me something that I think I want to become for other people. Is that if you have access, then open up for others.
Completely.
Not just for yourself. Because she'd have gone for herself. That night, Janet was leaving Kenya after the event to go to Iceland to moderate another panel.
Oh, wow.
Now I'm looking at her. I was like, you'd have done this too. It'd have looked so good. Kenya now, tomorrow Iceland. You know, like I could already see the graphics.
Yeah.
But she didn't. She opened up a door. As we are having that conversation, I'm like, hey, Janet, by the way, we need to do something together. She's like, yeah, I'm ready. So I reached out to her. I was like, yeah, we're doing this thing. Would you want to come? Yes, I'm there. I was like, can I even just say, Nyawira, what is it about? Nothing. She was game. So by the time we're doing the event together, Moz, if I'm telling you the truth, I've never been more anxious in my life. Because what do you interview such a person? You know, even at one point, if you watch the video, she talks for such a long time. I couldn't even cut her because I was just staring like, what's happening here? What's actually happening? But she's phenomenal. Yeah.
And is that another event that's
no,
separate?
So Dear Younger Me is part of the 3 events.
Of
so
the
every year the cycle, God willing, will always be at the beginning of the year is relational. Dear Younger Me is a bit more introspective, and then the end of the year is very planning for the next.
Yeah. And I know you're preparing for Ms.Understood festival.
You wanna look at this camera and tell people to come?
So my people.
Even men, say men.
Majama.
Sana.
How about Maze we just shock this lady, eh? Apparently, the most jamas she's had in her gig is 7. Sindio. So as Ms.Understood is happening, I love seeing Miss, yeah, M-I-S.
Miss.
M-S. Sindio. Guys, let's just show up because it's 12 hours, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Great content with 12 speakers.
Yeah.
Na speaker sees that za kusikia nini, please, man, no. It's 12 people who are coming to speak. Sindio. And the date is November what?
November 2nd.
There it goes.
Yeah.
You cannot afford to miss out on this.
Tell them.
Yani tafadhali.
Any you will disrespect most Australian amewambia.
Let's just show up. Let's just show up in numbers. We get dibs on how to deal with ladies.
Exactly.
Because let me tell you, Bana, ladies are complicated. So if you ever want to know how best to maneuver, please, mimi no Siri and then Ms.Understood.
Hey, clickbait, you've had it. First year on the DJ Moz Podcast. But yeah, so we're doing the festival. Now this one is an act of faith.
This is like 12 hours.
Me too, Moz.
Solid. Yani, I love it.
I'm happy you do. It's very nerve-wracking, but I feel like it's the time to do it. Yeah. So my hope is to have, God willing, 2,000 people.
Yeah.
And see what God has to do in that conversation.
You need to plug it in.
Yeah. So kujeni. Also the theme, I think maybe that's a good place to also say.
Yeah.
The theme is unstuck. Because I feel like next year is going to demand of us to be very free and stop acting like we are stuck in something. So it could be you're stuck in your relationships, stuck in your failures, stuck in your successes, because we also have to talk about that.
Yeah.
You're obsessed with what you did well. There are those people who say, when I was a kid, I used to have long hair. Let go. You're 90. Let it go. So it's just to tell you, come and let's have a great conversation unpacking unstuck. Because I think greatly that what we in the spiritual, in the faith, have called being cast or being ignored or rejected has made us get so comfortable in saying that I am in the season of stagnation and delay. And I hate that narrative. Because unless God has put you in it, ni wewe umejiweka. Yeah, and if you look back really, truly, there's something you're doing that's keeping you there longer. So that's why we're doing this conversation. All the speakers are fantastic. We're going to be having conversations around relevance because it's the biggest place of stagnation. It's like, am I relevant? Yes, you are. And then we're going to have one on balance because people are stuck in their finances, stuck in their health, stuck in their thinking, stuck in their faith. They're stuck.
Yeah.
Come on, get out of that cycle. So that's the goal with this whole gathering.
It's going to be good, my people.
It's going to be good. It's so cheap also. It was very intentional for it to be very affordable.
Yeah.
Because some of these things, I wish we could do them for free. I really do. Because it would be so much fun to do. But there are so many overheads to cover.
Of course.
So those are the things that now your payment, which is very affordable, is what is necessary for it.
All right.
Yeah.
So just how much is it?
1,000 is early bird, which I don't think are gonna stay up for too long. And then there's the advance, that's 1,500. There is the regular, that's 2,000.
Yeah.
But then there's a squad ticket for 1,500 for
there's a squad-
6K. Yeah.
6K
for
for
5 people. Yes.
That's a good deal.
It's a good plan.
But the 5 people can buy in advance.
They can. By
the way, mtakuwa mmesave thou.
Imagine.
Haya.
You can come and spend that food in the village. Oh, but also let me give a good disclaimer. Many of the things that, some of the feedback we get from many people is that, Nyawira, we like coming for your gigs, but I'm a mom. I can't come with my kids. So we've made a children section so that people can come and stay with you. Your kids can be taken care of, have fun.
Yeah.
You come and have a good time. Because moms are also girls.
Yes.
Yes.
I've got to... Na najua pale hivyo Kate anandisho mazida we need to... Wait, Kate bana. Ndio tumeanza tu conversations tafadhali. So, I do love what's happening. And even interestingly, now you've decided to come up with something for, moms to come with their kids. Because at the same time, I do feel that there's something for, and I don't want to stereotype it, but I do think that there's a space for us to also be able to encourage single mothers.
And they are the majority, Moz.
There are many.
Sana. And we like ignoring them and acting like they also, a single mom, when you tell her about dating again, we can't talk about it the same way as a young girl. No. So even them, they need a different conversation.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's a stigma towards them that's made them feel like they're sidelined. I'm sorry it happened.
The guys make them feel as though you're too messed up.
Exactly.
Easy conversations is
But look at this. That woman has honored the fact that she carried a child.
Yeah.
She's raising a child.
Yeah.
Come on, respect that if for nothing else. And after that, work on her as a person. Don't work on her as her situation.
Yeah.
Because I think we've made single moms look like they're sick. They're not sick. You're just a single mom.
Yeah.
Let's go going.
They almost feel ostracized by the society. There's a way we treat them.
And I don't like it.
That's not right.
I don't like it at all. Because I also feel like sometimes you make it look like they don't belong.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So moms kujeni, let's have a good time. And for kids, it's absolutely free.
Yes.
So their section is already taken care of. They'll come, you'll come, they'll have a minder. You sit in there, come with your makeup, even you come look cute. Because you deserve it. Yeah. Come and let's have a good time. It's very important for me to say that I really want this to be something you look forward to. Yeah, because I also like going for good gigs, like I like good gigs most. So if the gig isn't good, I usually feel like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have come. So we're working really hard to make sure that it's a well-oiled machine.
Maboezi lazima tuishi.
And you can also come with their children because even them, they can play.
But pia kuna single dads pia. We can rock up. But you're so challenging me, bana. I'm like, So I've been having the conversations. So Nyawira, you do not know how much I journal. Or I
You
like,
journal also, Moz?
yeah. And I like sitting down and
I knew you're my kind. I could feel it. It's a spirit. The Lord was
Kindred
telling me, this is the guy.
kindred spirit, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
so
do.
cool.
And I love sitting down and writing scriptures and what is God saying to me and what's my prayer. And for the longest time, I felt, Yani, I need
Release
to put
them.
these things into
Yes, a
journal
material.
that guys can be able to.
Yes. But
Hapo lakini uzembe too.
Pana. But you know also the thing is, if you write them and you don't write them extremely raw, like there's some journal entries I have to fold and staple.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if
Oh, I
someone
don't
sees
do-
this one,
Oh, yeah, I
God
do.
help me. God help me. But what happens is that you can give it to someone to transcribe it. There's so
Yeah.
many authors.
Yeah.
Do you remember Olivia
Yes.
Kimathi?
Yeah.
She's a fantastic writer. So now she's transcribing even for people and writing. So
Oh,
with people
man.
like her, there's so many
I
ways.
can sit with.
Yeah, and
I
Olivia is
trust
good
her.
people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So she can. So I think there are
Kahodo.
options. Kahodo.
Yes.
Yes.
Kalite.
Kalites. Oh, Oli. But
Yeah.
I think there are options like those more. And I think it's just also tell you, imagine do it. Plus also, I think maybe
It's like week.
eh,
But then nikashajika maze Moz.
ushajiseti juu now it's on
Ushajiseti.
camera na msitoe hii part hata
Opposite
walipe
genre.
aje msitoe. But it's also to tell you Moz is that I think if there are things you can say I can't say.
Yeah.
You have the blessing of time and age that you think about the Bible. I could say Psalm 23 and you say Psalm 23. We're not saying the same thing. So I think will be so important. So tusaidie.
I'm actually, please hold me to it.
Say less.
Yes. Hold me accountable to it. Because I feel for the longest time I should have put those like every year. I'm
Yeah.
like, I do not know. I do not write, put out this content for guys to be able to use to carry them through the year. The other one is, you see how you want to do the Supergirl code?
Yeah.
It's like we need something for Jamaz.
Mm.
And I know that there's money enough.
Oh, but you want for like younger?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, when we go and we hang out with young Jamaz,
You hear so many different things.
it's like we seriously need to think about how to pour more into young Jamaz as well.
Yeah.
But we can just sit and just have
Real raw conversations. Yeah. And not just about superficial things like money.
No.
It's like, how are you doing?
Yeah.
That's a big question.
And it's okay for Jamaz to cry.
Mm.
Because, the thing is, many of us, we cry on the inside. And we never speak about what's going on in our lives. And so, unashtukia msee alikuwa mpoa, lakini all of a sudden, man, his life has started going down the wrong path. Someone is drinking more alcohol.
They're wilding.
Yeah. So there's something deeper that's going on.
Yeah, it's not what we're seeing.
No.
That's powerful. But I also want to just also say, even as women, we need to be more accommodating of men being expressive.
Please say it again.
Yeah, because I think sometimes us as sisters, we're like, oh my God, he's weak. Crying? Satra Liliana. Yes. Because he also is human. Life happens. Moz, it's so interesting. So Moji, in the same measure, is like a man. Yeah, like man. Like I've seen him in pockets crying. So one time we were doing our prayer and fasting at church and I saw him crying. I said, it's fine, let him cry to God. It's okay, let him do it there because there needs to be an outlet. You're not God. Like you can't bottle it for too long. And then also the problem is if you bottle it in, you'll vomit it on somebody else. Us are just here being good people, but you're so nasty to us. So I'm for it. But even us as women, we need to create environments where men are safe to express themselves.
Yeah.
Because also men withdraw because they're like, hey, there, if I go, she'll judge me. Yeah.
The next time, hopefully when I make it, and you happen to invite me
Can't
for
wait for that
Ms.Understood.
day. But with this consistency, there's some progress, Moz.
Hata nitavarinda hata ukitaka.
No. A time is coming. I think also for men, I really am praying greatly that we can have.
I think that would be a very wholesome conversation.
I think so.
I think it would be very, very
Yeah,
wholesome.
but also, also why it will be easy for you is because I also don't feel like you're awkward. Yeah, like there's some men conversations that become so masculine. I'm like, too much testosterone in this space right now.
But that's why it brings a good balance.
Yeah.
So, Barabi, I'd be very happy to do that.
Absolutely, Moz.
And so one of the conversations we're actually having, and I don't know if my people are aware about this, but we're thinking about doing a live DJ Moz live.
A second one?
Yeah,
You did the
one,
other.
actually.
Oh.
So we did the first one, the one at the
Yes.
at the K Crew Bible
Yes,
Center,
yes, yes,
one.
yes,
That one
yes.
we had a natural audience.
Yes.
Then we did a follow up to that, which was at YHAB with Pastor Nyawira Gachugi, where he
I
meets.
didn't see. Okay.
So that was, in fact, we did one on a Wednesday, the next one was on a Friday, as a continuation.
Well.
So, but now I'm like, I feel, I guess Jogo. Uni Jogo amtaa lakini. Uni Jogo wa jiji.
Ajui time. You say no, now is when you're waking up. Surely you're our alarm.
So let me tell you this before I forget. This Jogo is nasty. My Jogo. In fact, akina Zara are safe.
But why do you have chicken, Moz?
It's my daughter Alba.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we have 3 chickens. And then she named them. One is called Excellent. The other one is called Drumstick. And the last one is called Nugget.
Drumstick and Nugget must always feel targeted.
So the Jogo is Nugget.
Oh my God.
I'm like, it's almost getting to that place where it's going to live up to its full potential.
You will become a Nugget.
Because the thing is mean.
Oh, really?
Juzi nimeenda kuifungulia, jana asubuhi nimeenda kuifungulia kwa nyumba itoke. And then the thing came to attack me, bana.
A Jogo. And yet these ones don't have any skill set.
This one, yani, I'm like, yeah, in fact, nitatafuta tu majogo kadhaa za kuchunga watoi sasa. But anyway, I've seen that. So I want to do a DJ Moz live.
Yeah.
But I'm freaking out as well.
That's a good place to start. That's a good place
really
to start.
freaking out.
But I also think do it. Yeah, there are people who, also that's the other thing to tell anybody out there is that there's so much space for all of us.
Yeah.
There are things, as I said again, is that there are things you can say on your platform that I can never say.
Yeah.
Because it'll just sound like, what the heck are you saying, Nyawira?
Yeah.
So I think it's also just tell people there's a community that love you and believe in God for you.
Yeah.
To tell them what God has told you concerning them. So I think just do it and make it. And I think also, Moz, I think it's a good place to also say it's very sacrificial. Many guys don't see it, but we get nothing from these things.
No.
Oh my God. The other day I was doing the math of how much we would have been making if we didn't spend on some things. I'm like, the type of hair I'd have been having. Nacheza. But then again, you tell yourself, it's greater good.
Yeah.
It's greater good.
It is greater good.
Yeah.
It is greater good. And sometimes you look at it in terms of the value of the impact.
Exactly.
You cannot compare that with anything else.
No.
When you hear people say that their lives are being changed and transformed, like when you go and read back and see people's comments.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is it. I hear your alarm is ringing. So I guess. But thank you so much for being my guest today, Vanna.
Thank you, Moz. But I'm not done with you because I wanted to find out from you.
Oh, please.
What's
Thank you. Thank you.
What's next? Like when you look at how far we've come as like people in the faith, and you have been active in it.
Oui.
We were talking about you the other day. There are times I usually say to myself, Moz must be falling. Like we talk about you a lot. But we're talking about you and
every time I bite myself.
But we were talking about how through Kubamba, hype men became something.
Yeah.
DJs became something. Dance crews became celebrated. MCs, as we are seeing them, many of them, there are some jokes and there are some things they'll do. And I'm like, Kubamba, I know that one. I know that one. So you've done all these things. So you shaped through pioneering.
Yeah.
Now you're still in it.
Yeah.
But what do you see as the next? Like if God was to open your eyes, what are you seeing? At this point, you can cue the organ, like a prophetic word is being dropped.
Yeah.
You remember when TBN used to do the fundraising things?
That's how
it looks.
Praise-a-thon.
Exactly. Oh my God, age is showing more.
Oh my gosh.
But what do you see as the next? And I ask this because you have shaped so much of our Christian culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And many of us are only. We're living out expressions of seeds you planted.
Guess, yeah.
So what do you see next? Because even us, we want to know. Otherwise, we'll be here kickboxing. Like, si Moz alisema tunafanya. So what do you see?
I think people are... Hey, that's such a good question, Nyawira. People are dying for authenticity. And when I say dying in terms of people are longing for...
There's a strong desire.
For authentic living.
Okay.
So... And there's something you said about, even earlier you were talking about it, how, we need to stop faking it.
Yeah.
I think people want to see, will the real Christians please stand up?
Okay.
So, because we are always so well composed that people feel I can never match up. And so I believe that the people they want to see authentic Christians living out their faith.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to fall.
Good.
And for people to see that you fall, and then
Oh.
for God, so that they can also see God's grace in your life. We're not always perfect and well put together.
Amen.
But we're human beings and we're living in this life, and
we make mistakes.
We will make mistakes,
yes.
many mistakes.
Yes.
But like when Maverick City and Elevation did that song for Jaira the State, they said, I've never been more loved than I am right now. I wasn't holding you up. I wasn't holding you up, God. So there's nothing I can do
to let you down.
So the people need to see God like God is my father.
Yeah.
So I look at my kids and I'm like, I remember looking at Zara when she was a kid.
Yeah.
In the pram. When she was like 3 days. So namwangalia akiwa kokote yake namwangalia mazina. I'm like, what can this little one do to stop me from loving her? Sasa mimi ni mtenda dhambi. Sasa je God. So people are looking forward to authentic living. The other thing is God's tangible kingdom here.
Yeah.
How do we bring about God's tangible kingdom here?
Yes.
Nyawira, that tangible kingdom has to be, again, us guys living it out.
Yes.
The same way Christ came and he showed us about what the kingdom of heaven is like. Like he brought such a tangibility of God's kingdom. The guys who were uncomfortable were the Pharisees who thought that they had it. And Christ would ask them, you guys have been, everything you talk about points to me.
Exactly. Can't you see? Can't you see?
Yeah, but you miss it.
Oh my gosh.
So when he's going to hang out with people who would be considered as non-believers, people who would be said to be heathens, it's like, I came for the sick.
Yes.
I came to seek and to save the lost.
Yes.
I came for that one ule amepotea.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is we need
powerful.
to stop always huddling as believers in our spaces and waiting for guys who are not believers to come to us.
Go to them.
Let's intentionally hang out.
Yes.
Intentionally hang out.
Yes. Yeah, because I like that word intentional, because you can go and hang out and we lose you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I need to be here for them to see a different version.
That's good.
So sometimes I'll go and I'll hang out with my boys whom I grew up with back in the day.
Okay.
Kwa sababu mi pekee ndio niko kwa injili bado.
Wewe ndio umechagua hii street
ya
narrow.
Mimi ndio nimechagua hii barabara. Lakini I'll go hang out with them in their spaces. Whether wanawasha, whatever it is. Like we'll
sit together and have a good time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, anitamia kuomba. Then they'll call me Amose.
Kuja uombe.
Come upre. Unacheki. So, and they know that there are certain things
you won't do.
I won't do. And so we need to intentionally, how do we bring God's kingdom close to people?
Amen.
I think the rest of the things are just ETCs.
Bonuses.
They're just bonuses.
Yeah.
So we can do events.
Yes.
Events are just bonuses.
Yep.
But it's the authenticity of the relationships that we have and the authenticity of how we live out our faith. So mukiniuliza, man, it's a good time for us to be authentic believers. Let people see our journey through life.
Yeah.
Let people see our highs and our lows, and they get to experience God through us. And then let us truly represent the kingdom of God. You know how we pray, your kingdom come? Are we waiting for angels to bring that kingdom here?
No. And if we are missing it.
Completely.
Because they have so much work to do.
So when guys come for Misunderstood, man, wacha wakuja wafeel Nyawira, there's no one who should ever feel condemned for coming for Misunderstood.
Yes.
Let them come and be like, man, I came and I felt God's love here.
Yes.
And how they feel it is because Nyawira umembrace mse. Yani they feel I have been loved because we are actually Christ's hands and feet. So when we do when guys come for third service,
Mm.
and it was just a God thing, yani. It was so clear this event is not supposed to be in a church.
Yeah.
And my team will tell you, kuna time nilikuwa frustrated sina venue. My number one option for venue was always Nairobi Street Kitchen.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
From 2 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
July of 2022.
You knew that's the venue.
That was supposed to be the venue for that event in 2022.
Oh.
But it was not happening.
Yeah.
So in January of this year, when I still could not get access, nothing was opening up with Nairobi Street Kitchen. I was like, okay, let's look for another place. Tukaenda 1824.
You wanted to take third service to 18?
Yeah. I was like, can we do it there? Are we almost up with the nini ama tuko sawa?
Ningekuja na anointing oil.
Yeah.
Ningekuja na anointing oil.
So I was
sanctify you high tables in the name of Jesus. Receive salvation.
So I was like, let's go to 1824.
Wow, Moz.
Is this space? Mpaka I drove myself there.
What?
Nikashuka.
What?
Yeah. I went into the venue. Nikaangalia, how will this place pan out?
Wow.
Is it possible to throw the event over here? And then the manager was not around, so we're never able to continue the conversation. So I go to a place where I was like, okay, now let's do it in our church. At least where we meet, it's called Hidden Gardens. When you come, you don't even think it's a church. And we have huge grounds. I was like, okay, fine. Why don't you find your two church?
Yeah.
This is my church, wakaniambia. We have a 5 o'clock service on a Sunday, so it might not work.
Oh, you'll clash.
Yes. So basically, I'm going to disrupt their service.
Yeah.
Then, that same time,
NSK.
Nairobi Street Kitchen opened up. I had gone for a meal.
Yeah.
Cosmos comes and asks, Moz, what can we do together?
No.
I was like, bro.
Do you even know? Grab a chair, my brother.
I was like, let's go upstairs. In fact, I abandoned my family.
No.
I told them, guys, give me 5 minutes. Went with him upstairs, shared with him the plan, the vision. He was like, Yani, I love it. In fact, can we do it Easter Sunday?
What?
Yeah. So, and the plan was always to do it in a club. This is how God does things.
And have
his
communion.
Timing. Yeah. The people I'm targeting are guys who feel they're not worthy to come to church.
Too dirty.
You feel
to
you're
be
too
back
dirty.
At church. Yeah.
You don't fit into church.
Yes.
Or
I don't know the lingo.
Yeah. Ama umehangi.
Yes.
Hauna nguvu ya kwenda church.
Yeah.
So this is another place where you can be able to experience that. And the most powerful thing for me that we've been able to experience in that place was when we did communion.
Yeah.
Funny, it was in an upper room.
Are my eyes rolling fast enough? Moz.
But he was so set up. Like I was telling my guys in the office, I was like, it looks like, you know, when Christ told the disciples, endeni, mtapata msee, mwambie washo ile room, ametengeneza.
Exactly.
It felt that that's exactly what Nairobi Street Kitchen was for us. And so, if we're intentional to have those spaces, you know, ukichiki msee anakuambia, I can't remember the last time nilienda church.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time nilikuwa na communion.
You know, communion kwanza. Me, if Papa Emoji came and told me, we've had communion, I said high five. Long live Moz. What? Oh.
So, anyway, I know you asked me a very deep question, Bana.
Yeah, but you've answered it. Is that let's go. Stop staying, yeah?
And the other thing now, I'm challenging my guys for the office as well, and I'm saying, and I'm going to finish with this one, Nyawira. And this is also for you. As you're talking, I felt I should tell you this. We need to stop thinking just about Kenya.
That's true.
You know, Christ said, ask of me of the nations and I'll give them to you.
Hallelujah.
So guys have gone out for missions, you know, for like the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Our guys have been to
all over
Rwanda,
Africa.
Malawi, Zambia, Tanzania, Burundi, UG, Ethiopia.
Yes.
You know, in the last 2 years, we've even been all the way down to South Africa, Zimbabwe. And I'm like, this thing, what God is showing us, it cannot just be for here. So Misunderstood cannot just be for here.
Amen.
You have such rich content. The same conversations you're having here.
And needed elsewhere also.
Yes. You should go to UG and now you get a couple of faithful ladies in UG that you can have Misunderstood there with.
Yeah.
That thing will be packed.
Sure.
If you go do it, and if you want me, I'll reach out to you guys for Watoto Church. Such a great venue, Shajipa.
Do you see? I was just coming for a podcast. Now it's become a press conference meeting.
Oh, man.
Uganda, hear the voice of the Lord, we are coming.
Let me tell you, you should go and do it. Akina Ben and Shiro,
Step out and go.
step out.
Yeah. Because they already listen to Moji. So as we go, all of us are going.
They love,
Yeah.
you have something that people need, not want, that people need. That thing that Christ has laid in you. Yeah.
Okay, Moz, I hear you. I hear you.
Twende.
Twende. Eugene Mwisho.
We say die empty.
That's true. And I don't want to die tomorrow.
No.
So we have so much work to do.
The time that God has given you.
Yeah.
You know how Moses was like, when he wrote Psalm 90, one of the things he said is,
Teach us to number our days.
Teach us to number our days. So we may gain a heart of wisdom. As in, let's die empty.
Yeah.
So, kama alisema ni 70 years.
Twende. Mwisho ni hiyo, twende.
Yeah, twende. Mimi nasema, like I'll pour everything I have into young people. So when I'm done, and this life is over, nitakuwa niko empty, as in nitakuwa nimejipatia na kila kitu.
No ounce of anything is left in you. Oh, wow. Thank you, Moz. That's so powerful. Let me give my parting shots because Moz is just here making us feel so emotional and tearing. But thank you, Moz. I'm so happy to have finally come. But I think I just also want to honor you on your platform. Thank you for everything you've done for all of us. Man. You know, proverbially could be our Paul that you planted and someone else watered. But this harvest has been because of what you've done. Yeah. And many guys may not be able or have the opportunity to come, but deep down, I know they are grateful for what you've done. Through this ministry, you have been able to position people from the highest office in the land to the lowest, to Kokila Mahali. What are you saying?
Wow.
You know, and it's not, and can you imagine that missions has shaped cultural Christian culture? Yeah. What? There's no way that never happens anywhere. Wow. Missionaries are usually the outliers. But it's just to thank Moz, and I'm going to face the camera because if I look at him, it could be a bit too much. But it's just to tell Moz, thank you, Moz. Thank you, Moz. I look here. Okay. Thank you, Moz. Thank you, Moz, for everything. You've opened doors that we could never imagine. You've set us up. Yeah. I think sometimes we're in rooms and we're like, how do you know what you're saying? You know, how do you plan for a concert? But people don't remember that TSO, you made us plan, call artists. You know, and at the time it felt like, why is he making us do all this work? Now you're doing your own thing and you know what you need to do.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful. I pray that every seed in every person that you have planted in, Yani, when it bears habits, like when we go to heaven, they'll be like, wow.
Yeah, oh man.
This is Moz. And I really pray that happens for you. So even with this podcast, I know it's the beginning of so many platforms to come. But everything you're doing is so significant. You're challenging the norm.
Thank you.
Which is so important. So, si tunakutambua, tunakurank.
Hey.
How will you know I'm married? Tumoji. Tunakurank. But we revere your work and I pray that God blesses you.
Tunakurank.
Use that one. That's what the kids are using these days.
Top ranking.
But we love you, Moz. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so
and
much.
I feel like the crew are looking at me like, huyu hatuwezi mleta tena. Huyu anaongea sana. Yeah, tarudi.
There's a lot to talk about. I think we need to have one.
Yeah.
Where we just pour into Misunderstood. There's one you did for Bye Bye Regrets.
That was Janet. That was heavy.
Yes.
Mimi, I went home saying, I used to live in regret. I didn't know.
You know, because sometimes if we don't look back, because the guys, even after tumefanya hii podcast, I just dig into
nothing,
like our challenges, you know, and the things where we feel, if I could change one, if I had the tons of time, I would rewind this.
Yes.
You know, because we all have those moments.
Yeah.
So.
But there are many more. Even me, I want. Anyway, September season, we're coming for Nini. For that service. Yes. I'll come in a priestly clothes. So that I can shake it up. Kuchendi, munione. But well done, Moz. Well done for even stepping out. Never in my wildest dreams today I've thought a club. Hey.
Only
but
Jesus.
Good stuff.
It's God vibes, yeah. It has nothing to do with me. Nyawira, you have what God has started in you. Yani, keep at it. Mali na kuelekeza. Like what you've just done with, even just what you're doing with Pole. What we're doing with Misunderstood right now, this is just the beginning.
Amen.
This
Amen.
is just the beginning,
Amen.
Bana. So, you have my support 100%.
Never doubted it.
If you want us to shoot that podcast, please let me know.
Say less.
They're wonderful, faithful men here.
Tell them also
and
very
women,
good gear and very good gear too.
Yes.
In fact, I came in, I was like, guy, these guys are serious. There's some episodes of Misunderstood you shot with my phone. And if you watch them, there's like a jogo shouting in the back, and it's not even ours. I was like, the enemy sends us some strange challenges. So, like I was hearing it, I was like, Lord, is this how you talk to me? Is this how you show up with like a jogo everywhere? So when I came and I saw the cameras, I was like, wow. And then God, people out here are serious. Don't bless us the same. Don't bless us the same. But well done, Moz.
Thank you, Bana. So you have my full support.
Thank you.
And I'm like super proud of you.
Thank you.
Super, super proud of you. 100%.
That means a lot, Moz.
Yeah, I cannot wait for what lies ahead.
Me too.
I have your back.
I know. I don't doubt it.
I have your back 100. Guys, it's been real. Thank you so much for joining us for the podcast today. I've had the absolute privilege of hanging out with let me call her my younger sister, Nyawira. As in, this has been such good conversations. Go ahead and share this link with as many people as possible. Yeah. Support us in whichever way you can. We love you guys and we can't wait to catch you hapa even and yet, DJ Moz Podcast. Thank you, Nyawira.
Thank you, Moz.